Yeast. Marinara. Mold. Flesh. Green bell pepper. It's pizza time! Piping hot, piping hot. Free Palestine! Hi everyone, it's pizza party time. Now I trust you all came prepared with your stuff. Hello, I'm Chris. I'm Evangelist on the internet. It's the pizza party stream. Many salutations to Ben Walters, JT Elm, Dynamo Dave 2002, V Rider, Zero, Aaron Axsmith, Tonbot 74, Strange 4, Sideswipe Prime, Timu Canadian Turbo Spinach, Logos Minor, The Orange Man, Flamewar 05, Sam Wellbell, Richard Reyes, Vanisher. Hello everyone. Dang, I ate a burger patty cut up in a salad. It's a crustless pizza. Maybe you won. What toppings? It's fine pizza. It's Domino's. Don't get excited. But I went for a combo, so I got pepperoni and bacon and onion and green bell pepper with oregano and garlic sprinkles. We're down. Yeah, it's actual pizza. I'm not gonna have a pizza party stream without pizza. What do you take me for? Will I be vaporizing any of the herbs on the pizza? No. That's not YouTube safe. They're still not quite caught up with the times yet, but, you know. We still got some stuff going. Usually I don't like eating on stream. I think I look disgusting when I eat, but that's maybe, you know, some self-image issues and general, like, anxiety about people seeing your mouth, like, you know, like while you're in the middle of a bite, but when it comes to the redacted vapors, don't even know what you're talking about. We're here to talk about pizza and box shredding. How is everyone's Wednesday? How's the hump day? I'm on the upswing. Because after our lovely stream on Sunday, I immediately felt bummed out for no good reason and have since then. Until today. So we're back. We're in it. More desktop cooking. Oh boy. Hope we're all having a, you know, interesting times Wednesday, as they say. Timu, you bought Overwatch Ultimate's Reinhardt. Oh, wait, so when you say do you mean 2.5 euros? Because if you bought that large figure for 2 euros and 50 sub-euros, well, that's a good deal. Aaron has got chisels and tweezers to apply upgrade stickers to Cloud Across, which I believe the chisels were because Aaron realized very quickly that the stickers he was dealing with were too scary to work with an X-Acto and a metal ruler. Chisel is actually just a long edge that will puncture a long edge. So, yeah, it's a good call. I hope it's going well. But yeah, damn, Tima, that's a good deal. It's a nice figure, especially for 2 euros and 50 sub-euros. Everyone's got new toys. Look at this. Once I finish my pizza, we'll get to some toys. Don't know if I can express quite enough the risk I'm taking by not having a plate here. Excuse me. Because I don't know where I'd put the plate. So I'm just kind of winging it. Griffman got half off my first HRT prescription today. Hell yeah! Good sales on good stuff. John Thomas Jones, risk is what keeps us sharp. By the way, here's me keeping sharp. Here's me living well. I got my slices from my pizza delivery, and I knew that was enough for one meal. Took the piping hot pizza boxes, not really piping hot anymore at that point, put them right in the fridge, not leaving them out, not going like, oh, maybe I'll peck at them later. No, in the fridge. If I want a slice later, I have to properly reheat it. That way, I don't, you know, eat 1.5 pizzas, as one is wont to do when one orders Domino's. Logos Minor saying you got to see TF1 thanks to Wheeljack64's generosity in weaponizing his luck again. Yeah, you both got to see it. We don't have any screenings over here in Canada, so all of us Canadian folks, YouTube or not, we're all just like watching from a distance, like, that sure would be nice. Well, the Orange Man. Depends on the pizza when it comes to cold leftover pizza. the funny titles in the podcast MP3s. That's Army of Bees has been handling all the post-production on the podcast for a couple of years now, so that's all Army of Bees. Hopefully Army of Bees will pop by later on during the stream and you can actually, like, throw a thanks their way immediately, but you can also just, like, send them a message. Leave a reply on one of the podcast threads if you got a TFW account. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. V-Rider, I'm surviving and... surviving! Thriving all the best ways. Oh no, Flame War, we can't call them Oplita. It sounds too... That sounds like an organ. Oplita, like, it's like, you know, oh, I got a swollen Oplita right next to my phalanx. They're all gussed up with ninjas. Still redacted. Those are just nutritional values. So I've got to move this over here. I feel like there is a crumb still on the floor, but I don't see it. I simply feel something. That could also just be a lump in my sock. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna switch this back to air conditioning because I'm already regretting it. We had some major thuddy rainfall today, and I think the humidity is still climbing in here, so I'm going to see what I can do to dry out my entire area. In the meantime, how are you all doing? We have such an adventure to go on today. Let's get right to it, because what's better than pizza? Even more pizza! Even more pizza! Even more pizza! Even more pizza! More pizza! More pizza! So this is Code Red, and I believe I saw Turbo Spinach in the chat. This was brought to me thanks to Turbo Spinach, who caught one on sale at a Target, I believe, and then held on to it and muled it all the way over to TFCon Toronto. That's a small pizza. Well, actually, it's in a legit, like, individual size deep dish pizza box size, like... I was surprised by the thickness. By the way, there's your toppings. Pineapple and jalapeno. Now, if there was pepperoni as well, I'd be talking this up. Because I was... The Next Lander Discord years ago informed me of the PPJ. The PPJ is good pizza. PJ on its own, kind of boring. Kind of boring. Needs the umami of the pepperoni. Now, I have opened... the box to film box footage because this is a layered box. Also, yeah, it's the Stranger Things crossover. Can we talk about that for a sec? I love this thing for how badly it's doing its you know, corporate job. Because you think Stranger Things, you think, right here, the Demogorgon, right? You think kids on bikes. You think Hopper, you know? So you'd think first, okay, it's gonna be a Demogorgon, but oh, what's it gonna transform into? Oh, I don't know, maybe one of the kids kind of messed up. But no. So you think, okay, it's gonna be Sheriff Hopper's car, because then there's a car you can start from, and just have it turn into a burly guy with a mustache. But no. They go for a reference, an extremely specific reference, to the stoner pizza van from Season 4 of Stranger Things, what one might refer to as the post-honeymoon period of Stranger Things, what one might point out as a crossover concept where a non-zero number of people said, what does this have to do with Stranger Things? Because a lot of people, like, you could have had this just turn into an Eggo waffle box, and more people would have got it. However, I love this, because if you're gonna go this, you know, this tight a chasm to shove your intellectual property fingers in, then go this tight. Hit up the friendly stoner character, you know? There's Code Red. Because also, at the end of the day, that means that we just have a stoner Autobot who turns into a pizza truck. And, like, hey, that's just not a bad pull. That's just a good OC. Who's your OC? Oh, it's Code Red. He turns into a pizza truck. Also, he does drugs, you know? Like, there you go. But yeah, like, and this is, like, the Stranger Things Ninja Turtles made more sense, even though it was literally just Stranger Things figures and Ninja Turtles figures. And that was the whole pitch. What if we put them next to each other and flip one the other way around? You know? We already have a stoner Autobot as Beachcomber. No, that's a... Beachcomber was down with that pre-legalization skag weed. Okay, this is someone who goes to talk to a bud tender. This is someone who knows what CBD is, right? You go to Beachcomber, you're like, what's your terpene count? Beachcomber goes like, well, I don't know anything about astrology, man. You know, you dig through Beachcomber's stash and you figure out it's like 80% just cut with like plastic and ketamine, you know? But this is a slipcover. This comes off so that you also just get a pizza box with no branding. So you get a little prop to play with, right? Over on the back, it says it's an 8-inch pizza right there. Now this gets even better because I've looked inside of this. They went all out on this pizza box because you crack it open. You get stains up on the top. Someone took this pizza box and, you know, did this a few times because, hey, you got a little bit... Whoop! Oh, whoop! No, it's alright. Toppings are stuck on there. The cheese is nice and hot. It's all good. Yeah, you get some pizza stains up there. You go down here, you've got... These are perforated, by the way. So you can actually, I think, plug a pair of drinks in here if you really wanted to. That is such a disgusting detail to include. It's proper. I would not want to see it any other way. And, if you lift this out, because I checked this immediately, if you lift all the paperwork out, they put some more for when you finished with your toy. There's evidence that you were a messy boy, and you ate the whole pizza. You disgusting, disgusting pig. You ate the entire pizza by yourself. You thought you were just having one extra slice. You did that 8 times. You horrible, terrible person. You ate a whole pizza. That's like 4,000 calories. Anyway. Just going through my own mental soundtrack there. I haven't really looked at what else is featured on this, because this is like a whole little box in and of itself. By the way, 11 drew on the tissue paper. Even though there's branded tissue paper over here on the side. Vanisher saying, I ate the whole pizza on purpose. Nobody does that on purpose. Nobody does that on purpose. I don't believe anyone who says they meant to do that when they finish a pizza. That's just, I mean, if you're saying you meant to do it, that is positively and constructively owning the situation. But also, I don't believe you. I don't, I don't believe you. Anyway, I gotta get this thing out of here. So there is nothing else featured on the inside of this. I thought maybe there was. I am actually genuinely a little confused as to what the purpose of this bit here is. Unless, like, we're supposed to... Wait, is that just a folding hinge? This is such a weirdly overproduced box. I don't know any Transformers ship names, because, listen, ain't nobody who can market a ship better than me. It's not about the name. It's all about the tragedy. That's where your shipping's got to come together. The Orange Man, I meant to eat a whole pizza once and have never felt more shame than when I reached down to get something from the empty box, LMAO. That might be worse. That might actually be the worst ending to one of those stories. Thank you for sharing. That hurts. But also I get it. Because you see, Alpha Bravo and Slingshot don't have a shipping name. They simply have tragedy. That's what binds them together. And keeps them apart? I'm trying to get this tissue paper open. Having some difficulties. So, I'm assuming these are the weapons. Doomed Yowie. Look, they weren't... Okay, they maybe were a little doomed. the hell is this? Oh, it's a blast effect. Okay. Also pizza. If you want some pizza to put with your pizza guy that comes in the pizza box. Also, so Orange Man's reminded me, sometimes when you have like Thundercracker and Marissa Fairborn, right, from IDW 1, is it a ship when it's just demonstrably a relationship? Like, I know that that's what shipping, you know, comes from the word relationship, but aren't ships usually like, oh, we're not sure, we don't know if this is really, like, Thundercracker and Marissa Fairborn are in a relationship, they're borderline married. And it's not like you gotta fill in a lot of gaps to come to that conclusion, right? Like, you look at them. Like, is that still a ship? Now, granted, I might be showing my hand here when I just assert that they are. Hang on, I'm gonna get my cutter. Not my pizza cutter this time. I'm gonna get the one that actually works better. Here we go. Ship is relationship whether they're canon or not. Okay, I have always seen it presented as being more unofficial, that then, like, you know, when the showrunners, you know, like, acknowledge a ship, it's like, that's the big moment. How much tape is keeping that? Listen, you gotta hide the smell, okay? If the smell gets out of the pizza box, you might not get it to your door. It might get, you know, intercepted in between. You gotta have some good seals on your stash bag. So this is Surfer Boy Pizza. I thought I had a good focal length set, but I didn't realize this is going to be like the size of literally a deluxe. So I'm going to pull the focus forward a bit. It's not a pizza, it's a calzone. We talking about that blast effect? I ain't had no calzones in this house. Well, I went too far. Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's go back a bit. Let's go to 50. Okay. I said a number as though it means anything to anyone not looking at my OBS window. So, that ain't a bad-looking pizza van. Hinge. So how can I put things together? There's a bunch of ways to put things together. Also, like, topical comes with, well, I don't know if this is topical, comes with the bat. Comes with Hair Care Product Boy's bat. That's not bad. The bat appears to also be a gun. Because you can stick that onto the side here? Really? Oh, that does work. Pizza Blast! Yeah, the blast effect looks like a chicken wing. I was wondering if anyone else is going to say it. Do the instructions have printed on grease stains? They got the checkerboard pattern, but I don't see any printed grease stains, no. Low-key, kind of, a little disappointing. So then you can stick this on the other side. Fully armed pizza truck. Here we go. Is that actually Volkswagen? Oh, it is. That's wild. The gun uses pizza as ammo. Apparently, yes. That's right, Mistake Boy. Pizza Blast! That's my Dai Hisatsu. So I'm gonna try to go no instruction, because this I don't think is if anyone knows if this has points of fragility, just let me know. But yeah, we gotta figure out what starts this. I'm assuming, okay, I was right. Starting with the classic leg flip collapse. Predictable. Already feeling just like good Transformers, by the way. I know a lot of people have this already who wanted it. Oh, I should say, I know a lot of people who would have wanted this already have it, so you're gonna have me just preaching to that choir a whole bunch. but also I like preaching. That's how you make that Jerry Falwell money. What the hell? Stay on there. I kind of forgot that this was actually Volkswagen, I'm assuming, with that there. That's kind of wild that, like, you know, there's a whole thing about, like, oh, I don't know about the Bumblebee, oh, Bumblebee war toys, Stoner pizza van. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Ball, oh, this trick is back, the ball socket wrist for the, in place of a hinge, so you get a wrist rotation. I know people mentioned that on, what was it, one of the Reactivate ones or something? Or no, Gamer Prime? I can't remember. It's been called out a bunch. So, there, I'm calling it out for y'all. Tonbot saying, does he have Siege Ironheight's leg flaps that fall off dash? Well. Flame War 5. Now, Not a Skids is a terrible ship name because it has Skid's entire name in it. I will agree with that. As someone who is a little bit of a poo-pooer of ship names, if you're gonna do it, you gotta at least have some style. And yeah, that's not following, you know, Styles Guide. That's like if my ship was like, my ship name is Alpha Bravo Slingshot, because then it's like, oh, really, is it? That's fascinating. Stop talking to us. Okay, so these arms do peg in to here. Monday Adams, I got that Frankenstein's Decepticon not too long ago. Love him to absolute death. Has anyone seen Twisters yet? It genuinely slaps. I have not seen Twisters, and I don't have Frankentron, and I'm jealous. I would like to have Frankentron. I got reams of headcanon to go with Frankentron and Draculatron. Sorry, Draculus. Okay, I'm missing something. There's a double hinge dealy here. It's not a slider? Am I just not lining things up right? I'm feeling very small time. So that went like that. Oh, this goes down. Ugh. Twisters kind of feels like something that I would want to watch at someone else's house when they bought it on streaming and I already had something to do. Which, now that I say it out loud, sounds maybe a little derogatory, understandably. Oh, this thing also just comes off. I always is Twister, OG Twister, is that the one where Pierce Brosnan's wife gets killed by a rock falling through the roof of their car? How does this thing work? Well, there we go. What's that about a flying cow? There we go. Pizza loaded. Pizza gun ready to rock and roll. So I'm assuming we can blast effect the pizza gun. Oh, baby. Hey, it's logoed on both sides. I, for some reason, just kind of assumed it wasn't. I wasn't really looking. Monday Adams, I'm kind of obsessed with Frankenstein's monster and related canons. I'm kind of biased. No, Frankentron also is just a... If, like, once they uncorked Draculus, it's like, well, Draculus, clearly the leader, but you need to have other ones, right? You gotta get going on this. And Frankentron is a good pull. I think the mold looks great. Like, the retooling is solid. Why does the logo become such an actually good-looking gun? You know, the finest engineers at Takara Tomy, just doing their bit. I feel like his legs are too long. But I'm looking at the art, and I think that's just how it is. Like, you see what I'm... Like, I feel like his feet should be here. So I'm like, do I fold this up? But no, that's clearly the ankle joint. Maybe he's just got, like, you know, long legs from all the weed. I don't know. By the way, head sculpt appreciation. Code Red is ready to, you know, radio in about all that spooky stuff he's seeing. Something strange in the neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Ectotron. Ectotron just says, why do you have my number? Oh, wait, this can shoulder mount? Oh, it can. Yeah. Oh, right, it's cheese. It's a pizza robot. Yeah, of course. Actually, cheese would be worse than getting shot with, like, fire. Because cheese sticks. Fire, you know, rubs off eventually. Low key, low key. We get him armed up here. Kind of viciously armed Autobot, too. Like, he's got a baseball bat full of nails made out of pure energy and a fire axe made out of pure energy that's stylized vaguely like a pizza slice. Turbo Spinach confirming molten cheese is impossible to remove. I'm gonna pull the focus back again a little bit. Let's go back to here, let's say. Why don't you just use autofocus? Because if you've ever used autofocus, you know it doesn't go where you want it to. Better to just lock it and move it. He's really violent for a stoner, yeah. Well, he, like I said, you know, maybe he got in touch with Beachcomber. Beachcomber gave him some of that lace skag weed. And now Code Red's all like, I want human blood! Not violently, I just want to collect it as a hobby. I'm going to see if I missed anything in the instructions, by the way. Orange Man, being shot with molten cheese might be one of the most messed up things a Transformer could do to somebody. I agree. Literally should be a war crime. I don't understand why it isn't. Okay, weapon storage on the back. But no, otherwise he's a simple guy. He likes cheese and weed. And mysteries. Flame War Revive. Once hot cheese cools down, you gotta scrape it off, then grease gets everywhere. It's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, we got folks who understand the grease way. We got folks who have been victims of the hot splatter. It's all that Beachcomber grinds up birds to make, like, his special Cybertronian ketamine, and it just gets into, you know... It's the reason why the collab Transformers don't really get called by the Autobots that often. That's really good weapon storage, I also want to say. If we just set the blast effect... Actually, can he hold it? Because it's 5 mil. Yeah, okay. And then, yeah, when Code Red gets the munchies, he's just like, I'm gonna fry me up just a stick of cheese. There's grease all over his face. But this backpack weapon storage I'm really liking. Oh, dog, hang on. I was gonna say because he can reach up, you know, hypothetically, and grab his weapons. But also, I'm just seeing... Tonbot74, Paradise parakeets are endangered or extinct because Beachcomber keeps grinding them up and snorting them. Yeah, I mean, it could happen. When you go Darth Maul style with a fire axe and a baseball bat with nails in, that's when you know that the edibles have kicked in. Anyone who's ever had edibles probably laughing their head off, like the idea of edibles making you get energized to go fight people. Dun 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 dun. That elbow, not double jointed, but it has a pretty tight curl, by the way. All that grease probably isn't good for his internal parts, or it's what makes him so effective, posits Flame War 05. I would say that's on the level. Monday Evans, I don't know, me and my buddies used to take edibles and swing wooden swords at each other in the backyard. We were like 20, so... I mean, yeah, that could also just be, you know, like... That could be post-teen energy. Turbo Spinach dropping in with the philosophy here. Duel of the Fates, more like Duel of the Weapons? Tombot74 just dropping the hammer. Duel of the Fats. There is a lot of fat in pizza. Anyway, yeah, this little guy's fun. It's unfortunate that he's not just a regular deluxe. Because, like, he feels like a super fun regular deluxe. Do I have... Yeah, here we go. Like, these could just be buddies, you know? Granted, one of them's a Voyager, one of them's like a Voyager collaborative. It's kind of messed up that Code Red is tall. I can't... What is up with Code Red's feet? Why are they under his... where his feet are supposed to be? The proportions on this guy are so weird. Like, look it. Maybe I've got something more close to this. Someone brought him up. Riley TNT saying his proportions look better when you're high. I don't know. I don't know. I think they'd look better if you were low, because then you'd be looking at the upshot and you'd be thinking, you know, like, well, he's tall anyway, right? Yeah, yeah, you see what I did there? What's up, Chicken Soup? Welcome to the pizza party. Flame 05, drop in the knowledge. There is nothing better than getting stoned and hanging out with friends, and sometimes it gets a little gay. I always forget, this is kind of irrelevant to the statement. I've made it sound like it might tie in, but I always forget what order to do things on Siege Ironhide. That's a fully hetero problem that I have. And then this thing does the funny alternate lip. There we go. Lana Joe 87 asking, what's everyone's fave pizza topping? And yeah, the leg transformation, very Siege Ironhide. He looks a lot like an Ironhide type in the chest, but he's a VW. But yeah. He's just, his feet are underneath where his feet are supposed to go. That's just the only way I can put it. It's super weird. Student Scissors, pineapple and pepperoni is the way to go. Yeah, pineapple pepperoni is like I can lose the J from PPJ if you just get like some good chili flakes on there, but the pineapple pepperoni combo with spice is where it just pops off, man. Though personally, I'm a pepperoni green pepper type. Throw in some bacon and onion, i.e. the pizza I had earlier on. I've heard peanut butter on pizza is legit. I haven't tried it. I also heard, oh, what was it? Peanut butter and green onion on toast can be really solid. Haven't tried it yet, but... Army of Bees, can I put chili oil on a pepperoni and pineapple pizza? Yes, you could, Army of Bees! You absolutely could! I've done it! And look at me! I'm normal! Aaron talking about white pizzas, clams with sauce or mashed potato. Yeah, there's a couple places in Toronto that do red pizza and white pizza as their menu split. See if I can get this guy back to his truck mode. You just get out of here. You gotta go take a rest, old man. Have a snooze, old man. Turbo Spinach calling out peanut butter sandwich. Dangerous. That might have been an activation word for me. How did you know or not know? The pizza cannon, by the way, it looks like it's just deployable while the truck is driving around. That's kind of funny. Scorpec7 needs to try if baked beans in sauce is a good topping. My only caution with things like putting potato or like beans or stuff like that on pizza is you're kind of like doubling up, not necessarily carbs in every case, but you're doubling up on like what I would call the filler, which sounds a little derogatory. I don't mean for it to, because, you know, some filler is really good. But like pierogi pizzas, I can barely really deal with more than a slice of them, because I feel like it's like, you know, if someone's like, hey, I made you some mashed potato with grated potato on top and rice inside the potato, then it's like, okay, well, where's the colorful fun part? You see, with the feet folded in, now he's got normal proportions. What the hell's going on here? What's going on? All these tall boys. Yeah, the starchiness is a big part of it. But even the idea of, like, beans on... I guess beans are, you know... They're not, like, a full-on starch-like potato, I guess, but... Bean stuffed crust. That could be something. Oh, Griffman, I've had butter chicken pizza a lot. There's a place near me that does it. They used to be better. They kind of went downhill. But now and then they have butter chicken pizza as a 2-for-1, and I'll be like, you know what? Why not? Why don't we have some fun? But no, butter chicken pizza is proven science. It's proven science. Other way around. Whoa. That connection of a small, thin tab on an even thinner slot. Not the world's tightest connection. That could be something, the teacher says, slowly writing an F into the culinary arts grade book as shares an army of bees. Why not just use potato bread as the crust if you're gonna have potato in your pizza? I think it's just people started like doing weird pizzas, then people went, oh, pierogi on pizza, and like pierogi with caramelized onion and bacon and sour cream and green onions and stuff. It all works on a pizza. It's just that when you have more than one slice, you start to go like, is this putting, you know, is this topping a cake with cupcakes, right? Like, is this getting superfluous? Is this making the good bits less good because there's too many of them now? Anyway, that's... Whew, code red. Holy moly. It's kind of a shame that this is, you know, covered in tape and kind of gets destroyed as you open it. Because it seems to be like a whole, you know, show-referencing little drawing. It's even printed to look like it's, you know, napkin material. "5mm pegs as pizza toppings," says Tombot74. You need to top the pizza with other pizzas. I mean, surely you all have done the thing where you take a pizza and either you put another one on top and slice it like cake, or you take a pizza and you fold it in half and then take a bite, right? Bees saying, I don't know, I think Weird Pizza peaked when the Meta Pizza where bagel bites were the topping and pizza rolls were inside the crust. Ugh. That just sounds like acid reflux and heartburn to me. Too much tomato, too much acid. Timu just coming in with the wisdom. I always fold my pizza in half, much like the Incredible Hulk. That's my secret. Prevents the top of the mouth from burning. Ah, yeah, that's legit. That makes sense. Much like, you know, any good pizza party, you gotta make sure you collect all the leftovers, put them all back inside, so you don't have a mess. Folding also keeps everything contained. Well, the thing about folding pizza, right? It makes sense. Folding pizza is legit. A1. Let me just put that out there, okay? I'm not talking mess on folding pizza. However, much like I have a preference for open face sandwiches, I find if pizza's folded, it's just there's too much. It's too thick. There's too many layers. You take a bite and you're like, that was a quarter of the pizza. You know, when it could have been an eighth of the pizza. Slice, I should say. If you're taking a quarter of a pizza in one bite, you got a whole other lifestyle to deal with that I don't understand. But, no, like, folding pizza, and also, pizza with knife and fork, completely valid. That's almost the way some pizza is meant to be eaten. Pizza with scissors, completely valid. Had that down the street from me some years ago, and I really liked that. Hot honey, same place. Hot honey on pizza. I was introduced to that through Salt and Tobacco. It's the place I went to. Air fry a Hot Pocket. Like, that seems like that would be the best way to do a Hot Pocket. Because whenever you do them in an oven, they inevitably get too dry on the outside. I don't know, man. Whatever the case, like when you're having too much pizza, right? You get that pizza belly, you get that rumble gut from all the pizza, and you're just like, you know, who's gonna help me finish all this pizza? You know, this is a rough town I live in. You could say it's a shell of a town. Anyway, we're gonna open this up too. That's why I also got my my cutter knife out, because I wanted to be able to, you know, slice through more tape. I've seen people put olive oil on pizza that was already cooked and it looked really oily. It can be a bit much. You gotta have a drizzle. You gotta have a drizzle. I don't understand how this is packaged, but I think I can cut the cardboard open? That's right, it's 2 for 1, Dynamo Dave. I always get a deal when I order my pizza. I'm not paying full delivery price just to have one pie brought here. Low key, I use my Domino's points to get a thin crust that I think tastes better reheated, so I could stack that onto my delivery time. You can't just cut. You can't just cut the cardboard open. It's stupid packaging. I'm livid. This is stupid packaging. What the hell? And it's sealed on? Okay, I got a question. What are you Ninja Turtle collectors doing that has Transformers being told directives like this, you know, Fort Knox the toy in there? Because the Turtles collectors are literally rabid. They're gonna literally eat the toy. Like, well, I'm gonna dissect it anyway, but now I'm just confused and a little bit disappointed in my son Hasbro Nickelodeon collaborative. Either Fort Knox it or no windows, no in between. What? The instructions were in there, so there is. What a waste! Hang on. Snap. What is this box? I already know what the big funny secret of this part I'm doing is, but I'm gonna do it anyway. We're gonna knife everything that's knifeable. It's such a cool, hefty box that makes 0 sense. The more you look at it, says Army of Bees. And they heat sealed the top and the bottom. So they taped the left and the right, and they heat sealed the top and the bottom. But it's perforated. So maybe I can slice my way through here. Lana Joe 87, we're gonna knife everything that's knifeable on a shirt. I gotta remember to say that more often so it's an actual catchphrase. All of that! Only to rip it here. Did anything just fall out? I can't even tell. I'm just gonna rescue these parts. Mainly, this seems like a really easy way to, like, not know there are things in here as you go. Oh, Code Red just flew off the table. Rest in peace. Oh, Code Red, what happened to you? Come back. Also, all these parts are not twist tied in. This part is just loosely applied. There goes a nunchuck. Oh, got it. There's a circle in here somewhere, I think. Yeah, there it is. Turtle hats. Army of Bees asking, how much of the $49.99 is the box? Truth. Team of Canadian, did you get 5 copies? No, because this is original character Party Wallop. Nothing about Party Wallop's established lore invites the idea that Party Wallop is a troop builder. Dynamo Dave 2002, years of plastic-free packaging counter-aced by this. None of this was taped or twist-tied in. Party Wallop is twist-tied in, as you can see here. Yo, did they get Playmates on the packaging for this or what? Well, PT, the established lore, right, is what you have to infer. Oh God! Oh! Oh! What do you have to infer from the implied storytelling of the toy? That twist tie snapped out and then just, like, snapped against my finger like a scorpion tail. Get the model nippers out. No, I'm too far now! I can't do it now. Not when we come this far. Ugh. We're so close. I'm not a hero, I'm just a man! Proving you could have stolen this toy despite their best efforts. As long as you had a box cutter and then put it away. All my things fell over. all this nonsense. Oh, my finger hurts so much. Anyway, we're here. What up, Transformers fans? We're here to take a look at Party Wallop. Okay, I got all the things locked in. Boo-boo alert! My street cred just demolished summarily. Did you hear about Vangelis? He had a boo-boo alert. I'm gonna bring this, let's see. If I'm lifting it up here, it's fine. I'm gonna do this more often than putting him down, so we'll just do it like this. So, where was I? I should put this thing on. Maximum ouchies! And then when this is not one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in his Daihisatsu mode, we put that on when he's just normal, good old friendly Party Wallop. So anyway, the implied storytelling. The point I was making. The character is sold as Party Wallop, right? And demonstrably has a non-Ninja Turtle mode where he is simply Party Wallop. Therefore, these things, right, and all the weapons and whatnot, these are not the other Ninja Turtles. In collaborative, Ninja Turtles wouldn't turn into a vehicle that's absurd and silly. This is realistic hard sci-fi where a Cybertronian scanned the party wagon, and then as part of his Evo Fusion Hisatsu power technique, can form swap, like another hard sci-fi Kamen Rider, into Party Wallop Leonardo mode. Party Wallop Donatello mode. So if you bought 5 of these, like I understand that, you know, you want to be able to replicate on your shelf the Daihisatsu Party Wallop no Jutsu Kage no Dance sequence. But other than that, you know, that's a rich person's game. That's when you're in high-end toys. I'm just a mere collector. Yeah, Sam Wellbell, I'm doing my best, because I've seen the community, and I've seen, you know, players in the community just carrying this false science that you gotta have 4 of these to be the Ninja Turtles or something. Ridiculous. Unethical. Did Party Wallop have the turtle-shaped head before or after they scanned their vehicle mode? I mean, is that really our business? You know? Like, what does it matter who Party Wallop was when we know who Party Wallop is, right? Yeah, you feel me? Also, this thing goes up here, I believe. So is this just Master Force, but with turtles now? Asked local cheese man. I mean, you know, the turtles don't have to lock into the belly plate. I wonder if they ever called this out with an actual name in here. I'm assuming no. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. But now I finally get to see how the belly gimmick works. I've been curious about this. So this flips up. Oh, it is! Okay. So I was wondering if it was really a 5-point belt changer. So yeah, as you can see, it's much like Kamen Rider Kuga, where the center of the party driver, like, switches to different letters depending on who's, you know, being partied up. And yeah, I saw I think that it was during the reveal they showed how the weapon storage and helmet storage all works. It's so friggin' wild. Because, you know, God, I love being a turtle. crack the weapons locker open. PT dropping in with some of the hard facts. Party Wallop is actually the creation of Donatello designing a new party wagon after discovering Cybertronian technology and is imbued with a shard of the All-Spark. And everything goes in here, right? So we take the bow staff. He has a scalp backpack, yes. But it's for his scalp forms. Alright, then I put that in, I put that in. Flip the shoulder pads up. This is where the nunchaku go. Does that make Party Wallop a shell former? Y'all political commentators just can't let, you know, a turtle be a turtle. You gotta friggin' come after them for the shape of their bodies and the... Tima, do you have all of the collaborations now? No, I'm still missing a few. I mentioned before, I'm missing Frankentron, and I also don't have Ultimate X Pants. I would like to have Ultimate X Pants, but I only want to pay a certain amount of money for Ultimate X Pants. And I know it's feasible to get a good deal on Ultimate X Pants, but every time I hear about one, it's someone else got that good deal, and it's driving me balonkers. Chris Muse, a half-shell former, legit. PT, I love being a shell former! Flame405, whenever you guys first saw G1 Orion packs, did you guys think Optimus used to be a twink, or was that just me? I don't think I had the vocabulary at the time when I first saw Orion packs to just, like, throw twink out there. I did think that he looked very fair, and he looked very, like, you know... He looked like a fella you could push over, and he would go, ah! If that makes sense. You know, rather than going like, ah! You know, he looked like you could bump into him, and he'd be like, ow! You know? That's the best way I could describe it. V-Rider CH, he has the jawline I wish I had. True. Alright, so then if we do a form change, cast off. Oh, damn! This has fold-out parts? So you can have the turtle punch. And we get back in here. Oh, everything's bumping together. Come on, come on. Show me play pattern design. I demand. Some people might call it a shield. I just call it a really violent punch. Yeah, this part was off when it was in package. I put it in there. I don't know where this goes, because this is just a pizza. So, you know, for now, I feel like this has to stay in here. Gotta keep the pizza warm. Alright. Oh, you can store this one in the back. I'm not gonna do all that again. You slam that down, this flips up, and it's like... Michelangelo mode! And then he pops these out of his shoulder pads. Adam Bilmu, I've had pizza before, true story. You're a friggin' liar, I don't believe you. PT and V-Rider both making the Deno call. Dog, if this was like another $100 and these skull caps could transform into little Ninja Turtles, I would pop my lid. I would be like, no, I do want a second one now, because I'm going to wear out the first one. You know, not headmasters, but like, you know, little Deno Brainmaster things. It even has a rod form. I appreciate the nunchaku is on an actual chain. Also, the hand feel on this thing so far is quite beefy. Wheels are not silicone, but they feel like a dense plastic. There's a reverse mid-torso joint. Ball socket head, which is really imperative, I think, for this. It's kind of a shame he has normal hands with 5 fingers. That's kind of messed up and unethical. The chain is what the $49 is paying for. No, Orange Man, the packaging is what 27 of those dollars was paying for. Adam Bilmu, I saw they have Turtles He-Man collab now. Yeah, the He-Man Origins base buck, after being applied to wrestlers, it's now also being applied to Ninja Turtles. They're pointing it at everything that remotely fits the, like, low-key genius of the Motu Origins bucks, which is just 80s muscle toy, but with full articulation and part swapping. Very smart decision. I think there's a Build-A-Figure for the Turtles ones, which is funny, because you can just rip those figures apart anyway. So it's like they're just coming with one extra copy of a limb or something. Lamor05, I'm sure they'll do an upgrade kit to give them 3-fingered turtle hands. I mean, yeah, they are mushroom pegged in there. It's all set up. It's ready to go. Tonbot, he's not a mutant because of the turtle stuff. He's a mutant because he has abnormal 5-finger human hands. True. V-Rider, they could do Thundercats with those. I'm pretty sure they're gonna if they can. So the elbows and knees, they're only single joints. So you can't get like a full-on, you know, curled-in arm, you know, holding the nunchaku under the armpit kind of thing. Well, you kind of can, but it's you're kind of cheating. Oh no, Turbo Spinach. I meant the Masters of the Universe Origins buck. They're gonna put that on. I think they announced it. Yeah. The Orange Man mentioned that. I'm pretty sure they announced that as a concept, but I wasn't, because it's also such a natural concept. I wasn't sure if I was just imagining it. Yeah, the Bath Build-A-Figure is Metal Boto, a mashup of Metalhead and Roboto. Never heard of Roboto? So, does this Kanzen Henkei if I put all of the weapons back in place? I lost a sigh. That's a bad sign. Damn, I'm hilarious. Low-key bit I'm going to drop here. A little bit of a hot take. Not really a hot take anymore. No one cares anymore. Back when having an opinion on He-Man Revelations was important on the internet, I was generally, like, lukewarm and enjoying of that series. And then my hot take was, like, so no one ever wanted to talk to me about it. So I'm gonna put it out there. The part of that show that I didn't like was Roboto, because they did the world's laziest robot story that you could ever do. They did the Star Wars robot story. Roboto sacrificing himself because he's a robot, and in the very final moments having an epiphany that makes everyone say, even though he was a robot, did he also too have a soul? And I'm so friggin' tired of that. I'm so tired of that. Anyway, I got over it, but no one else talked about it. So, it's just K2... Yeah, and I also hated it with K2SO. It's like the Star Wars droid story. I hate it. Did this robot with demonstrable emotions... Did this robot too have a soul? Because that's not that question I don't mind, right? It's the part where they ask it because the robot just demonstrably self-sacrificed in an act of pure sapient sentience and emotion. So friggin' annoying. No, C-3PO in the whatever, the Fortnite Star Wars movie also did it. The C-3PO one was extra messed up because he was the only one who cared. Everyone else was like, does he have a... We don't give a... Who cares if he has a soul? He's our property. We're gonna kill him. C-3PO, go die! And then C-3PO comes back and goes like, I didn't die. And everyone's like, we don't care. Shut up. We hate you, C-3PO. And that's how that whole sequence, that's how I remember it playing out. Masters, I suppose after these many decades together, die. Okay. Oh, no, I was talking about Rise of Skywalker. It's the one that literally ties into Fortnite. Was there one of those in Revenge of the Sith, too? I don't remember. Yeah, Orange Man, that's my whole Star Wars rant. All these friggin' rage grifters want to go on and on about Ki-Adi-Mundi's birthday or other stuff that doesn't matter. And then it's like, well, what about the part where Star Wars has this massive gap in its media soul about the fact that the droids are all alive and everyone talks about them like they're not? And then someone inevitably goes like, what do you mean fact that they're alive? Let's have a debate. And I'm like, no, I don't want to have a debate. I'm too irritated to have a debate about whether demonstrably living fictional characters in their little fictional worlds are alive or not when they demonstrably are. But yeah, Rising Revengeance of Skywalker opens up in Fortnite, where it's revealed the dead speak. Which is great. That's the good stuff. Turbo Spinach with the big lore drop. 2 characters say oh my god in Star Wars. A clone and a battle droid. Yeah, friggin' think about it. Open your goddamn mind. Somehow Palpatine is returned is beautiful. It's people gotta lay off on that part. Ah, these swords. I think the weapons. Okay, so the swords officially can't stay on because they're in the way of stuff. Both created by human, therefore Star Wars humans are gods. Legit. Scarred and deformed. You know, it's easy to just go like, wow, Chris is always so mean to Star Wars. But it's like, because there's so much in Star Wars I do like. Scarred and deformed. That's so good. You know, the smash a ship through another one in light speed. That's my kind of stuff. That's like the friggin'... That's a bunch of anime stuff I want to see in my sci-fis. The way that Star Wars names are all so stupid. It's one of my favorite things. One of my other favorite things that I don't think gets brought up enough, the part where, like, Twi'leks are French. I learned that from Rebels. I love that. When Hera just, like, adopts a French accent when she gets upset. Yeah, they're just French. It's... but only when emotional. No, like, the Emperor is the best part of Rise of the Skywalker. I'm gonna put the in there because it's funnier. Like, when he's just like a friggin' Cenobite on a meat hook. And you're just like, okay, buddy. Okay, the size can't stay on either. Swords and size have to come off. And it's like, why is he a Cenobite? I don't know. One of my favorite, my two favorite parts of Rise of the Skywalker. Number one is my friend Hoopla and I, for a brief period, were just communicating 80% by screaming, Rey! Like, over DMs, and I thought that was really funny. And then, also, I parroted a joke I heard somewhere else, at my friend Ray, different Ray, and they laughed so hard, and I was like, this is great, because I didn't even make up this joke, I'm just parroting something I saw on social media, and that made me, I don't know, I really enjoyed that. I felt like, you know, we dug some happiness out of, you know, ugly discourses and whatever else, and I was like, hey, did you not love how the final line of Star Wars is now, Daisy Richard Osmond, or whatever her name is, saying, my name is Rey Star Wars. Not my joke, that was someone else's joke, I just really like it. I'm sure whoever I saw it from on social media heard it from someone else. It was one of those ones, you know? That specific kind of tone. Her name is Daisy Motherbrain. Thank you, Adam Bilmu. I mostly know her as, wife you kill over and over again in that one game that, young Professor X is in. You know, the one where you're, like, in a time loop and they're both pretending to be from New York? So he's like, Rey Star Wars, my wife. And she's like, Professor Xavier, my husband. And then you stab her for no reason. And then Willem Dafoe comes in and shoots you. And then you wake up again and say, I love my wife. Yeah, 12 minutes. What a neat concept that, like, just turns into a friggin' nightmare. I mostly remember it because... So I think it might have been Voidburger pointed out the way that young Professor Xavier was saying water was the way that no American says water, but people trying to sound American do say water, which is water. He's like, you want some water? You want some water? Wife? Where do you put the swords now? Oh, I see. Blades to the front, okay. Water? Would you like some water? Can't be blades to the front, they stick out so much. Water? Like, the way that game just does not explore the fact that you can stand there and then go like, what if I shove a knife into my wife? And then, like, they recorded a line for him to be all like, I don't like what I'm doing! But then, like, that's it. He's like, well, dang, I gotta find my way out of this mystery. I need some water. Oma, Ender, and a bunch of others saying the blades are supposed to stick out. Okay. At 12 minutes. Like, everything about 12 minutes should have gone fine. And yeah, I forgot. Someone else said it. I also forgot the big plot reveal of, like, also... incest! It's like, sick! I'm like... choosing to shove a knife into my wife and sister. That's... wow. Oh, Bees, you didn't know? Sorry, spoilers for... I thought it's been long enough that... Well, yeah. That's the mid-game twist. It's... that's your sister you married. Willem Dafoe! Willem Dafoe is great. He's great in everything. He does, like, just crash into that game. Willem Dafoe, I believe your dad, if I remember right. Actually. Anyway, this is fun. Nice and plump. Little party van. Well, Willem Dafoe's not actually a cop is the thing, is he's pretending to be a cop. He's actually your dad who has you under hypnosis because he's trying to deprogram out of you the memory of the fact that you married your sister. Because rather than dealing with any of it, he's just going to hypnotize both of you so you don't remember. Because he's also a master hypnotist. Can't believe you didn't play this game, Bees. I mean, like, everyone knows this now. It's a classic trope. Willem Dafoe Transformer would be just powerful enough. Yeah, because, yeah, the Patriots getting done in with Nanomachine Revolver Ocelot makes more sense, because nanomachines are involved. Willem Dafoe does it with a pocket watch. And he has, like, this, like, well-meaning dad monologue where he's... I don't remember any of it anymore, so I've only misremembered it, because I was like, this kind of sucks. And he's like, listen, you know, you mean well for your sister, and, you didn't know she was your sister. You both, you love each other. You just don't know how you love each other. So I'll just make it go away. Just think think about hypnosis. Wow, was Willem Dafoe just in the room? Yeah, I know, right? I'm going to turn this back into a robot. So I would like to do that. Willem Dafoe is 0 and 2 in appearing in good games. Was he in a David Cage one as well? Is that what I'm thinking of? Poor guy. He's getting hit up by all these designers who think they're directors. Oh yeah, Beyond Two Souls. Yeah. Poor Willem Dafoe. Just getting mobbed by all the wannabe film director game devs. Friggin' David Cage. Someone was playing... John Wolfe was playing Detroit a couple months ago. And I was rewatching it and getting mad again. Because I can't not watch it if someone that I like plays through Detroit become robots. But, like, what a stupid, dumb idiot, stupid game made by a dumb, stupid bastard. I'm so mad about that. Sorry, I'm using... That's a bit of an in-joke of my mom and I. We like to just yell about bastards. Remember, robot, go to the back of the bus. Well, this is just the part where the Connor storyline's actually, like, engaging and good, in spite of everything happening. And then, you know, eventually it has to go and run into the other ones, and it's like, oh, god damn it. David Cage all like, I can't help but notice that you actors have been having chemistry with each other that I didn't write. Can you please redo your scenes, please? Thank you. Yeah, the Connor storyline's good because the two actors just went like, what if we ply the craft of acting in spite of the director? Yeah, Turbo Spinach, it's true, because you play these, like, kind of neat Connor missions, right, with Connor and Hank, and then every time you finish, you groan, because it's like, oh god, no, not these idiots, and you have to go, like, hang out with David Cage's characters, and then by the end of the game, they have to interact, and then the moment they start interacting, Connor and Hank, every time they're around any of them, they sound more stupid, and then they get to have little moments to themselves here and there, but then, you know... Marcus or Pixie Cut and daughter show up. The whole game, they're like, oh, this robot only wants to love. What if a robot could know love for a human? Oh, what if it was all robots? No way, dog. The thing you foreshadowed 100 hours ago? Sweet. Yeah, if you write her car, it took me a minute to remember her name because she does nothing. Right, well, she's David Cage's pixie cut female character with daughter. PT, could a robot eat a slice of pizza so hot no human could eat it? Yes. And some robots, in fact, would. To protect the humans from biting into the danger slice. Robots can't have souls. It's just programming. Like the friggin' robot racist characters in Detroit are like, look, I like a good robot racist character who eventually either gets killed or comes around on robots, right? Or gets killed by robots. But, like, friggin' the ones in Detroit where they're just like, yeah, I'm just a normal kind of guy, and you know, whatever. But you robots, you it robot, huh? You know, ripping their pants off to crap on the floor and pointing at it and going like, clean it up with your face! Robot! Anyway, Detroit, Chicago Become Human is bad. You just watch funny people play it. It's better. Yeah, pick up that can. David Cage like, I invented this. Half-Life 2 is just like, I don't know, whatever. That toy guy, hey, Mr. Chris Vangelis Toy Man, are you going to the prestigious and definitely not overcrowded Toronto Fan Expo? I was going to, but my plans for August have changed because of my mom's chemotherapy. So now I'm going to be, for most of August, I'm going to be out west, helping out my mom / house sitting, and looking after stuff whilst she's in care. So a lot of my August is going to be me just, like, by myself. So I am already drafting up lots of streaming plans, not really for any of your all's benefits, more for my brain's benefits. Thank you. I'm hoping that she's just over a week into treatments now. What part of the body is the chemo healing? All the bone marrow. My mom's bone marrow's gone rogue. So we're killing it and replacing it with better ones. A big part of my mom's treatment, well, not a big part of the treatment, but a big part of, I just took the bow staff out, I thought. Oh no, I left it in there. I'm so good at this. A big part of why she's having her treatment is because they believe that she's curable. And part of that is because the nature of what she has does not entirely match up with her demeanor. She seems too fit for someone in the numerical condition she is supposed to be in. But also, like, that was, you know, a couple days ago. Now her immune system is, because of the chemotherapy, her immune system's mostly gone, and is having to be regenerated. But thankfully, like, the hospital she's at, which is not local to, that's why I'm looking after stuff on the island. It's not on the island. She's over on the mainland where the hospital is way better. This bow staff is way too small. It's a stick. But no, the facility she's in is way better. She's on a floor that is for, like, immunocompromised patients, so she's very safe. My brother and one of her sisters are over there right now and have visited her a couple times, and whenever they ferry over and then go to the hospital, they have to go up, like, a special elevator and, like, get, you know, disinfected down before they could go in. Enroth, any good news on your mom? Not really. There's not really going to be any news for a couple months. It's just going through the treatments. So that's also why I've been doing more streaming, because it's a really great way for my brain to connect with lots of folks and just get good vibes. It's not even like, oh, everyone's so nice to me, although I'm really appreciating that, and it's choked me up more than once. It's like, if I'm left by myself, and I don't keep all of my safeties running, I just start to go into very in-depth predictions of worst-case scenarios, which is, like, not good for my brain, I have discovered. Because that happened when my mom first went to ER and we weren't sure what was up. And then I just, like, wandered off out of my apartment because I was like, I need to eat something and I can't get takeout because I need to leave this apartment and be near other people. And then, like, a few minutes into wandering, I was like, oh, I could go to the really good Japanese place, and I went there. But I don't like eating by myself in restaurants, and I readily went and ate by myself in a restaurant, so I know something was wrong. So the streaming stuff is really helping. Because there is, like, live feedback and interactivity. So I'm thinking of more streaming fun. Because on the upside, it seems people who are tuning in for these are also having fun with them. So it's like a win-win for all of us. But no, I appreciate that, Aaron Naroth. And yeah, like, there's going to be updates. It's just there's never really going to be, like, to my understanding, there's not going to be any kind of day-to-day, like, she's cured! You know, it's a fairly grueling treatment, as most chemotherapy is. There's interesting stuff about it, though, that you can learn. Like, my mom's whole thing, part of the reason she's of interest is she has Philadelphia cell positivity, which is apparently not super common. So to all the people of Philadelphia, my mom owns all of you and your houses now. So FYI, we are not gonna like evict anyone. We are simply asking you to find somewhere else to live for a couple of months while we make your houses look better, and then your rent is gonna go up. Even if you're not paying any of it, you're gonna be now because of all these improvements we're doing. Timu, good thing it's so many single-player card games. Oh, I'm not going to be at the hospital. Like, it's... When I'm over there, I'm going to be, at my mom's house, which is on an island next to the mainland where the hospital is. I'm just going to be going over to check in on her, like, once or twice a week. But it's, like, literally not safe for me to, like, live in the hospital or constantly go there. Because, like... Every time I go there, I'm walking in with the outdoors on me, and everyone in that wing has a fairly compromised immune system. Is your mom's house on its own? Yeah, it's my island. No, like I have friends there that I can hang out with at times, but I am very unused to being in that house alone for more than a couple of hours. Oh, no, I asked my mom if she wants games, and she's, like, not interested. She has her phone. She has lots of audiobooks. She can watch stuff. Oh, yeah, Flame War 05, that's what it is. It's an immunity ward. So it's okay for you to come in, you know, like, a couple times a week, and interact, but, like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to, like, just sleep in there. That and, like, you know... When my mom has a chemo treatment happen, and in her case, I believe it's primarily, like, just, you know, stuff she takes. Like, when you have chemotherapy, they're basically irradiating you, right? So, your fluids, be they your blood, or if something doesn't agree with you and you have a little blah, right? That stuff is all technically toxic waste, hazardous. So, like, that's also another reason why you wouldn't want to be, like, you know, just, like, sitting next to someone the whole time, because, that, you know, they might puke on you. And it... yeah, the radiation or chemo, somewhere between the two. It's the poisoning. So, like, you know, when you have chemotherapy, they give you, like, a very special bucket that you should try to use so that they can just hurl it into the sun. Yeah, I always cross the two in my head for some reason. But yeah, it's a chemo thing. It's basically trying to calm down blast cells that are overtaking the cells that are supposed to be in bone marrow. Oh, Andy Rue did both. That, to be honest, that might be why I'm conflating it a bit. That and I think one of our other relatives had a, not leukemia, but had a lymphoma that required radiation stuff. So a lot of it's kind of crisscrossing in my head. But yeah, they're like feeding her. They're giving her, you know, like uppers. Like when you're on this chemotherapy, they give you they feed you really well, and they tell you gotta eat a lot. And they give you steroids and lots of, like, you know, fresh blood. So, as far as I understand, she mostly feels badass because, you know, steroids and fresh blood transfusions will make you feel like you can throw a car, right? For some reason it's reminding me I should do the check. Oh, okay, yeah, Flame War 5. Some people have chemo and radiation together if their cancer is bad enough. Yeah, Aaron Roth, my mom has gotten multiple blood transfusions over the last couple weeks, and every time she feels friggin', like... I'm just gonna rip the blast cells out of my mirror with my bare hands and throw them out the window. So I'm still trying to, like, you know, call her or message her daily to just keep up the routine. By the way, dab possible. All that hemoglobin will do that to you. Yeah, it turns her into the friggin' Red Goblin. The IV bag. It's got like a big friggin' green goblin smile on it. You want more blood? But yeah, in general, my mom has said multiple times, like, she understands why vampires do it now. Whenever she takes the pills in the morning, she's like, what's the line? Until next time, leukemia! But yeah, so my mom's the one who's got all this stuff to deal with, so and this is irrational, so I know this is wrong, but I have my moments where I'm like, wow, and I feel really sad and weird and existential and upset, and I'm just sitting over here. So, you know, double thanks to, especially, the Viscord, who has weathered lots of me suddenly posting a lot in the heavy channel. I appreciate that. That's helpful, too. But yeah, I'm having all kinds of, what do you call it, brain flippy. So I'll be fine for a bit, and then very suddenly I'm not. But you just gotta kind of work it out. The way I think of it is, like, and it's kind of how my mom's dealing with this too, is like, it's a long haul, so you kind of just have to live in the present and exist each day. Aggressively exist. Also, yeah, Party Wallop. Pretty solid. Considering he's, like, around about, you know, that Leader Plus kind of price, he's beefy enough to not feel like, you know, literally a deluxe or something. I think you have to be into this, though. You have to think this stuff is really cool. If you just want the Ninja Turtles and you're like, I better buy 4 of them, then, like, you know, rip, you know? I think that every extra copy of this you get will get exponentially less interesting and exciting with each one. I just can't imagine having 4 of this, right? Like, something this big 4 times, and going like, alright, I got it! Like, it's a bit too much for something that would be a 4 of for me. Yeah, most of the deco is just, like, on the pizza van stuff. And then, like, you know, this part that is... Like, this is the chest when you're in one of the turtle modes, but when you're just Party Wallop base form, then you're like this. And then you can pop this off to reveal Party Wallop's trademark abdominals. The 6-pack. And, like, the pizza's pretty well painted, too. So most of the paint apps are focused on, yeah, the party wagon mode. Because, yeah, I don't know if you saw, but, like, the gimmick of this guy is he's Party Wallop the Transformer, and then he goes Cho-Henshin like Kamen Rider Kuga and turns into Michelangelo, or Raphael, or Leonardo, or Donatello, or just Party Wallop Hyper Mode. That's the part that's the missing link for me, is, like, there should just be a hyper mode for this, too. Like, he's gone friggin' cast off. And yeah, you can then plug, you know, this thing on like a big, you know, shield slash brutal punch. This is where collaboratives, like, they need to have a fiction to go with them. Because, to me, this toy became way more interesting when I understood that it's not supposed to be the Ninja Turtles turning into a robot into a truck. It's a Transformer who is the friend of the Ninja Turtles, who can form change into Ninja Turtle, like, power-ups and stuff. And I was like, okay, that makes more sense to me and is more interesting to me. And yeah, the cast-off, like, first there's the micro cast-off. Reveal, you ditch all that pizza you were eating to reveal the abs within, right? I just wish, I feel like this should do something interesting, but it doesn't. It just kind of flies off. Lee Calba, so it's not official, but they're actually, at TFCon, is where I first saw it. There is a third-party semi-knockoff of a deluxe movie Bumblebee, where the alt mode is now a Mad Max car. And it was kind of neat. It was cute. Aaron Aroth, they're not doing a comic crossover, are they? Yeah, no, they seem to have stopped doing the comic crossovers, which is a shame. Because those are what fueled my headcanon that has driven me to enjoy a lot of collaborative now. Because, I mean, if they're not getting stories of their own, it's like, whatever, I can make up my own stories. But also, the thing that was missing from those comics is all of them knowing each other. Like, that's part of what makes collaborative interesting to me, is all the ones who are original characters also all knowing each other and being part of, like, some science investigation team. Like, that's where I think this can get really fun. And yeah, and then they team up with Fortress Tiberius Maximus. See, with the full gut on, this looks way better. This is just like, yeah, whatever. I lift. I'm a power lifter and I eat lots of pizza on my cheat day. What are you gonna do about it? Wreck you. Also, the human hands, even more cursed when you realize he's got turtle feet. It's super messed up, unethical. But yeah, let's pop out his friend, Code Red. Let's get the stoner next to the connoisseur. Oh. When Code Red fell down, a panel flew off of him. The other one of these flew off, and now I don't know where it went. Ugh. It's the kind of thing where, like, I'll find it the moment I turn the lights on. You know what I mean? Where you're like, where is it? Where is it? It's like, it's right under you. It's right under you, dumbass. I'm gonna do one flashlight check. What do you think? I think I'll do one dive. I'll do one dive. Remember me as I was. I don't know where it went. I'll find it later. I'll turn him into a robot in the meantime. Just, you know, don't tell him about the leg. He won't notice. He's had enough product. Yeah, Oma Ender, that's what I was thinking. It's like, you know, a lot of power lifters, they got gut. It's just like, you know, are you actually going to go up to them and go like, yo, nice gut? Because then they'll just, like, pick you up. Unless that's what you're after, I don't know. It's going like, I'm just a little guy and I'm going to mess with a power lifter, hee hee hee. you know, whatever. Are y'all talking about Sonic lore? I never know if people are making things up with Sonic lore, ever since the Shadow the Hedgehog stuff. Yeah, there, TF Closet. A child will be shot in the new movie. I don't know if you... It's like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me. No, people explained to me the child being shot thing. It just was so long and sprawling, and I, you know, off and on couldn't tell if they were starting to do a bit or still just telling me what happened. It's just a plastic plate. It couldn't have gone that far, right? Like, I'm not a Sonic fan. It's not like I'm a Sonic hater. I'm just not a Sonic fan. I don't engage. But like, it's so sprawling that even I know the name Ken Penders. You know, Wavesign just brought up the name in the chat, and like, I know that name. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever read a single thing Ken Penders has written. I just know that, like, that's an activation name. If you just go onto, you know, Twitter and you go caps lock Ken Penders send tweet, like, usually someone would start replying at length in some way. Oma Ender, what's a Ken Penders? I'm not equipped to answer the question. Like, I interviewed, I think his name was Jamal Peppers, one of the comic artists, at, like, one of my first New York Comic Cons, because he was a friend of another person that I knew and interviewed. And so I was just, like, rolling with it. But then, like... That was me interviewing someone about Sonic comic books, and I never read a single one. So the interview was very odd. I was just trying to roll with it as, like, an artistically driven thing. Or writer, artist. I don't... See, I'm already doing it. No, that was an artist. Right, because the writer you're talking about is Ken Penders. Yeah, Jamal was an artist. That's right. That's right, because I was in Artist Alley. Wouldn't make sense otherwise. Anyway, yeah. Stay tuned for my Sonic the Hedgehog podcast coming soon. Just gonna see if I can elevate these guys a bit. Oh, there we go. We simply needed a pizza box. Yeah, Tonbot, San Diego Comic-Con. I forgot San Diego Comic-Con was happening, because I was like, I don't even know what time it is anymore. But no, they set up the Hasbro Transformers display stuff, and they got Ruckus and Bludgeon are out there. Omega Prime is out there with a little Titan Master. There's the MDLX Fab 4 of Transformers 1. There's an implication on a sign next to them that the MDLX Transformers 1 figures are going to be pre-orderable on Paramount Plus, which I don't really understand. What with that being a streaming service? Why would you need to pre-order a toy through a streaming service? I don't really know what they're talking about, but, you know, it says you'll find out more at a Paramount Plus event. Yeah, if you're right, or wait, what? How the hell does that work? That's how I felt when I read the sign! I was like, what? Like, I'm not getting Paramount Plus either way. But it's like, pre-order them now through Netflix. And I'd be like, well, how? Like, I'm assuming you have to log into the website on your computer, not through your TV. And there's just going to be a store there or something, but... I do the big shrug. It's like Paramount Plus, after, you know, becoming potentially a final resting place for a great many Paramount Plus originals. Just needling back in, going like, we'll give you one more bag of money for more Transformers press. Yeah, Sci-Fi Prime, like, that was my thought at first, was like, are they gonna have friggin', like, pop-ups during episodes? But then I was like, no, it's just nobody really logs into a computer to watch streaming as much as one turns on an app on their TV. But you can still log into a website for a streaming service. So, I assume that's what it would be. Oh, and Oma Ender saying Disney Plus has a QR code thing that sends you to a special part of the store for merch. So it could be that too. I'm just being mean now, but like my immediate knee-jerk response is like, I don't assume Paramount Plus is equipped to do anything as fancy as Disney Plus, but like that's sort of irrationally mean of me to say, because it is just a QR code. I don't have Disney Plus either. I'm not like trying to, you know, raw anything. I'm waiting for more shows to show up to get another, like, month or two. But, yeah, these are the Stoner Pizza Bros. It was fun opening these up. Disney Plus is pulling shows. Yeah. Yeah. It's such a bummer because I was one of the ones in like 2010, 2011 who was like, streaming's gonna be the bright future of accessibility and archivism and saving lost media. It's gonna be wonderful. Like, I was one of those. So, you know, watching it all kind of fall apart is sort of a bummer. Because could one say, oh, it's just the cycle? And, like, it is. But, like, I know I had the optimism back then, so it kind of bums me out especially. Yeah, meanwhile, New Micronauts finished as of over 4 years ago. But yeah, I'll switch to face cam, I think. We'll start winding down in a bit. Ho! It's here! The face cam. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like it's the phrase, as long as it's profitable to pull shows, and it's like, yeah, that just seems like that's a solution, right? Just don't make it profitable to delete media that's been made. Well, I wouldn't say, like, I'm sure it's spurious, but, like, I wouldn't say it's, like, up to us to make our own stuff if we don't like it, because it's like, no, it's also up to that industry to be protected, and it's up to, like, governments and industry leaders to look after people who work in that very industry, right? It is vulgar and disgusting, that there is no oversight and there are no protections, and that a number of I'm going to call them consumers as an insult, don't care. You know, like, the number of people are like, oh, they should have had better ratings or something, right? Like, I'm leaving out that scumbags are going to be like, oh, it's all DEI, because they're stupid. But it's the folks who, like, look at that and go like, well, you know, really it's because the show didn't stack up the way it should have. And it's like, shut up. Like, you don't understand, like, to this hypothetical person, you don't understand how these shows are made and what they mean to the people who make them on a career level, right? Oh, take it easy, Turbo Spinach. And yeah, you know, it's revolting. And more people should transform from consumers to actual humans and be angry about it and yell about it a lot to make it uncomfortable for companies to do that stuff. And also, more importantly, to, like, make people in industries like mine feel like they actually have people in their corner, because a lot of people in industries like mine don't think anyone's in their corner, and think that they are alone and that they are being, you know, cast out to sea because nobody cares. Elson Quizmorio, am I late? A little bit. I'm kind of finished opening stuff. But yeah, in the meantime, like, the thing people can do is bootleg everything, because that's, in many ways, not only, you know, preservation of media, it's also, like, doing a solid for literally the people who made whatever show you might have bootlegged. You know, going back to a couple of folks who were animation show runners, let's say, who have quoted, you know, multiple times, they were never even provided with masters of their own show. The only copies they have of their own shows that they made are ones they downloaded off of torrent sites. Like, I went ahead and made, because it all happened at the same time, right? I always kind of conflate between the Infinity Train creator and the Final Space creator, but one of them was the one who was like, the only copies I have of my own show are 1080p TV rips that I got off Mega Upload. Those are the only copies I have of my own show that I put my heart and soul into for several years. And, like, that's disgusting, and it's it should be not accepted as normal, because it's not normal. It is absolutely not normal. So that one was fun. I think Infinity Train might have been in a similar position. Well, no, yeah, because Infinity Train did have DVDs of some of it, right? Because, yeah, the Final Space guy was, like... The Final Space guy, like, they were practically getting a massive hard-on, making the guy crawl face down through a pile of glass. Like, the whole thing with the graphic novel, where it was, like... That was sadism. Like, that... what was done to the Final Space guy was sadism. Infinity Train is where the full series download mysteriously appeared, but that, I believe, was fan-driven, if I understand correctly. At least the initial upload was fan-driven. But yeah, it's mostly people in animation, I think, who have suffered the worst, because, like, a lot of their work was already being treated like disposable, and then it was the mask-off moment of, like, actually, with full 100% transparency, even though you already kind of suspected it, but we had some kind of candor for the sake of being remotely human, we've decided to drop that. You are, in fact, completely disposable, and your life's work means nothing. We're deleting it so we can save an amount of money we will never notice. So, like, folks in animation, like, it's really brutal. And it's just, please keep that in mind, like, as animation projects come out, right? And if anything about them feels off or kind of, like, short-shrifted, consider how poorly treated a whole lot of people in that industry are. In our own little wheelhouse, like, the whole, like, pseudo-public fact that, like, Earthspark Season 2 lost a lot of visual fidelity, let's say. because everyone working on Earthspark Season 2 was learning the rigging of the models because they weren't the team that worked on Earthspark Season 1. And, like, I feel like that has been highlighted a lot, thank goodness, but it needs to be highlighted more because it's what makes Earthspark Season 2 an academic watch now, more so than, like, a watch because, hey, Transformers. It's like, this is also a show that was, for lack of a better term, cruel, the crewistically, it was gutted and had new guts shoved in, which is so messed up. It's like Rise of the Darkspark, how it's a whole bunch of assets from the War on Fall of Cybertron games given to someone else to play with, and demonstrably, right? You look at the Bruticus levels from Rise of the Darkspark, where they were given all the assets for what was supposed to be a 5-minute experience, and then they just, like, stretch it like dry yeast into multiple levels, and it's academically fascinating. But yeah, like people could tell from the credits some of the replacing that happened for Earthspark Season 2. It's just my understanding through various means is that, like, the entire animation department was completely swapped, along with a number of the writers being swapped. And like the, I don't know if silver lining is the right word for it, but like in the case of Earthspark, the like silver lining is that it seems most of them probably got pulled to immediately start working on the next Transformers cartoon. And I have a suspicion that Earthspark is getting the RID 2001 and the animated treatment, where the show is suffering a very abrupt end / possible inaccessibility legally, because I suspect Hasbro might be, like, not wanting to really hedge a production on being seen on Paramount Plus when they clearly get more traffic just uploading to YouTube. Elson Quizmora, I see the subtitles. No, these aren't. So these are captions. These are the auto captions. They're different. They don't have a mind of their own. They're just a meat machine. Flame05, that explains why Twitch's arm cannon sometimes doesn't appear when she shoots. Yeah, most probably. Yeah. So the Hub 2 is coming. Nah, I mean, I think YouTube is coming is what's happening. And it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. I mean, like, I don't want to rely on YouTube because nobody that I trust owns that platform. But, like, you know, I say while we're all chilling out here, keep your life jackets on. I would rather things exist, you know, as media that is treated with a modicum of respect, but... Yeah, the Paramount Plus exclusivity. I had this moment about Earthspark where I was like, because one thing I like about Earthspark Season 1 is all the slice of life episodes that are very much like, you know, very much for kids, but it's like lessons for kids, and the lessons are taught in a very family style with this found family of humans and robots, and Bumblebee as the weird uncle, and I really like that as like a slice of life setting, and the delivery on a lot of those episodes. And then, like, it was a while later when I kind of sat there going, like, I really like that as slice of life for kids. How does a kid watch a Paramount Plus exclusive show aimed at them on purpose? Because a kid can't get Paramount Plus, so kids' parents would have to have Paramount Plus and or Guardians. But then they'd have to go onto Paramount Plus and then choose to go find that there is a kid's show to watch. And, like, a lot of that sounds natural, but then, like, the more I thought about it, I was like, every one of those is a failure point as far as a kid actually watching the end result, right? Because what if the parents don't care and just, like, go find something on random? What if the kids got in and then went to look at something, you know, spicier or louder because it's Paramount, it's a streaming service? So the more I thought about it, the more I was like, Paramount Plus exclusivity for children's fare seems like a good way to kill shows. But like, I'm really worried I hope that the Paramount Plus Beavis and Butthead stuff can make it out of there, along with Earthspark and many other things. Like, every clip I've seen of the Paramount Plus era Beavis and Butthead stuff seems like really super solid. I'm like, hey, Mike Judge didn't go weird, at least overtly, through his media, I guess. That's neat. It's a shame it's buried in this service that I don't want. Oh, okay, so Earthspark was on Nick, but it was just terrible time slots. Okay, yeah. No, I think, like, as we transition to whatever comes next, like, unfortunately, piling things onto YouTube feels like the best of all worlds in that, you know, as long as it isn't weirdly region locked, users have access to it, companies can get metrics on it, it can just all go there, and for the most part, you're not having to directly pay either a streaming company or for streaming space of your own. If you're uploading an entire series to YouTube, I'm sure Google makes you have some kind of agreement with them, if you're, like, literally a company. But that's also not the final solution to that either, right? Like, 'cause YouTube is a Google-owned platform that could disappear tomorrow. Tubi shall rise. I'm worried about Tubi, because Tubi is starting to lean into the part where they don't cost money, and I'm like, this feels like the part where the golden era rises and then quickly falls. But, like I also said, when I say, you know, into whatever comes next, it's because we don't know what's going to happen next. So, that's the one really lovely part about the inevitability of change. Change is really scary and terrifying, but also really exciting and hopeful, because you literally don't know what's going to come next. So, hey, you know, it could take a while, but... Not so, Alex. I can't believe Cyberverse videos have millions of views probably made more money than Paramount. Yeah. And yeah, wave sign. At least it's not on Go90. I was telling someone about Go90 at, I think, at TFCon. Because Go90 is now in that position where if you weren't there and you say, at least it's not Go90, someone's going to go like, what's Go90? And you're like, haha. Yeah, what is Go90? What a great question. Would you believe that it's meant to be Go 90 when you watch? That's the whole... That was the whole branding. It's TV on your phone, but you go 90. Tubi has a Matt Gaetz ad you're getting in every ad break. That sucks. I also like watching Tubi on my computer with my ad blocker on, admittedly. So, Sam Welbel, I have a quick bite to sell you. A quib... Oh, God! You say this... You literally look me in the eye. You come to my daughter's wedding? Strange 4, I have never heard of Go 90. That's right. Not so, Alex. I looked at the video for 1 second, saw a different guy. What happened? I don't know. Are you doing okay? Wake up. Are you doing okay? Are you doing okay? Yeah, Go 90 is where the Machinima series... Yeah. Go 90 was, in fact, the home of Bink Bink. If I remember right. I do love it when you bring up things like Go 90 and Quibi, and then, like, there's moments where people are like, what are you talking about? And you're like, this does say it all, doesn't it? Not so, Alex. Remember, it was just North America. Internationally, they put Prime Wars on Tumblr. I don't remember that. Because, yeah, then Machinima was on YouTube. Until it wasn't? Is it... Because it went off and on YouTube. And I don't know if it's there anymore. PT, anyone remember the social media video platform of Tout? And Michael Cole told me all about Tout. I think Tout never was available in Canada? I might be misremembering. The Machinima trilogy is watchable now again. It's on YouTube, but I don't think it's official. Okay. Because I was going to say, yeah, not so, Alex. They put all the Prime Wars on Rooster Teeth, but that's gone now. So, yeah, I was pretty sure the Prime Wars trilogy was on Daily Motion thanks to, I think, Himbo Soundwave, or one of Himbo Soundwave's offshoot accounts. Yeah, it's mechanically, Emperor Nova 1, it's mechanically, academically, physically watchable. Kind of. Oh, dog, Brian, I remember iFilm. That takes me back. Yeah, not so, Alex. I was Cyberverse. I was a Himbo Soundwave frequenter for Cyberverse. So I remember that was about 30% of how I learned the word himbo. I also did not remember them putting Combiner Wars on the Last Night Blu-ray. That's... I mean, that improves the Blu-ray. PT, the business-oriented social media platform of Chatter. That reminds me. I thought Omegle was gone, but every now and then I see Omegle compositions showing up on YouTube that are new. Is that people just recycling stuff like the Poor Kitchen Nightmares people, or is that like, did Omegle come back? Because I didn't keep up with that. Like, my very first social media platform I ever used for voice chat and stuff was M-Player. That was in, like, 1998. Tombot 74, Himbo Soundwave was a critical moment for Evangelist's vocabulary. TJC Turtle, I watched The Last Night twice today. Stop! You have to wake up. You're trapped. Like, don't do that to yourself. Third time's the charm. For some reason, that reminds me. Having built my 8... built and upkept my 8 Transformers Commander Magic the Gathering decks. I have started doing that bad thing where I was like, well, you know, I pulled these really lovely Eldrazi from my Modern Horizon 3 pre-releases, so, you know, maybe I'll just get singles now and then for those two. I'll get the 2 Commanders single because they're cheap, and I'll get singles for them for Ulalek and Azlask. And so now I've got, like, the thing that I thought I had stopped doing when I finished my Transformers decks is this growing stack of little singles for a deck that's going to, you know, genetically bud into 2 decks eventually. Wait, were we talking about Excite? I remember Excite. Excite was a search engine. It had a chat program you could download a standalone, then it added voice. I remember Excite, the search engine. I don't remember the rest of that. Timu, that is the reason why I didn't buy Lorcana. See, for me, the part with Lorcana where I'm safe is I don't love Disney enough. I just think it's a neat game. So I just have my 2 decks that I try to now and then buy singles for. Flame 05, I think Excite was pre-2003 even. Okay, Lee Calba, that was my first voice stuff online, 1999. Yeah, my first voice stuff was 97 or 98. And I was talking to adults. I probably shouldn't have been. Alan Weaver, you're supposed to build more commander decks. It's fine. That sounds suspicious. Bring back Lycos. I don't think we were able to bring back Lycos even at the turn of the century. TJC Turtle, do you have any OG G1 mini-bots? Yeah! I have a bunch I grew up on. I can't remember if I ever got any of the reissues of them, but I had a bunch. I had, like, you know, Cosmos, Windcharger. No, not Windcharger, just Tailgate. Hubcap. Other Hubcap. G2 Beachcomber. I bought that when it was new. Brian, Prodigy BBS system, mic drop. Nah, I know those. I remember when you used to be able to judge people based on what BBS system their home message board used. That was one of the big advances of TFW, was when it was like an originally designed message board system eventually. Or at least like wasn't clearly one that was dumped out of a box and then had like the workings tweaked. Lee Calber, remember I'm rural, we didn't really have interwebs in 97. True, okay. Yeah, I was where I lived, like Vangelis Island had cable internet in like 94. So I only knew dial-up for about 2 years tops, and then I grew up on cable internet, which at one point was weird among my peers, but as time has gone on, now it's like, what's dial-up? That's a funny punchline people use. Are curious on opinions on other Transformers ship names. I mean, like I said, a lot of ship names feel like I like my portmanteaus, but like a lot of ship names feel like they're not even portmanteaus. They're just like people tripped while holding both words and then dropped a bunch of them and then just kind of put back together the parts that were left over. When I accidentally just start war with the shipping culture. Lee Calba, we only got fiber last year. Oh, dang. Like, I'm sure part of it was, like, my mom being, like, a working IT consultant probably needed cable modem speed at a certain point. Axelon was a ship... Oh. Yeah, it was. Playmore 5, yeah, but I hate some ship names, especially the Spider-Man ships where people don't even match their names together. Like, what the hell is Sunflower? Yeah, what's Sunflower? Is that a color palette thing? Like, I know enough about current Spider-Man that it can't possibly involve Mary Jane, because Mary Jane never gets to be involved with Spider-Man anymore. Because that makes Spider-Man not single enough. Oh, Lee Calba, yeah, the Google Stadia, where they just were like, what do you mean you don't have fiber? What's wrong with your county? What's wrong with your neighborhood? Freak? It's a ship between Miles Morales and Hobie Brown, and it's called Sunflower. It's gotta... Okay, like, my assumption is that that's gotta be contextual to some kind of shared scene or something, or, you know... What does Sunflower have to do with either of them? Like, no, I mean, I'm asking the like, that kind of ship name, I always wonder if stuff like that is, like, the point is for you to ask the question so someone can tell you about it. Which, like, you know, fair game, right? That's one way to do it. Like, if I really wanted to get people interested in Alpha, Bravo, and Slingshot, then I would just be like, well, my favorite Transformers duo is the First and the Last. And they'd be like, oh, are you talking about Omega Prime or Emerald Zeron or The Last Autobot? Like, no! I'm talking about the romance between Alpha, Bravo, and Slingshot. And then, you know, like, you're the one who asked me to tell you all about this. You know? I'm making a lot of, like, just leaps of logic here due to a ignorance of the actual details, but where does Off-Road fit in that ship? So, Off-Road and Rook and Takeoff, who is masquerading as Blastoff, are involved to a certain degree in that they and Alpha Bravo are kind of what you could call the Trauma 4, where they are, you know, the ones who have to get forced into a Gatai with Cyclonus in order to bring Galvatronus about, because that's what the big plan is, right? But as far as actual inter-character shipping, like, that's not relevant, because, I mean, Takeoff has, like, an infatuation with Onslaught, because when you masquerade as Blastoff, who is in a turmoil-ridden relationship with Onslaught, then, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You actually fall for the mark, and then you don't know how to deal with it, right? Like, that's some of the good stuff. Emperor Nova, hi, my name's Rad, and I'm here to tell you about the Transformers ship names. That would be a cool turning point for Rad. Like, that would be fun. I personally like Rare Pairs, and one of my favorites is G1 Hot Rod and Moonracer. The ship name I come up with is Moonrod. I mean, yeah, it's natural. May I suggest Fleur de la Lune to work a little bit of the French Romance language into it. I mean, Road Rocket and Road Pig, you kind of assume a lot of the loaner motorcycles at least, like, have a whole, you know, once every season we all just convene at a motel and get it out of our system kind of thing. Look up Hot Rod and Soundwave, it's my fave. Look up Sound Rod for more info. I know about that one. I mean, in Cyberverse, that's another one where I'm kind of like, Shockwave, Soundwave, shipper material. Hot Rod, Soundwave, kind of obvious in the text to me. Like, it borders on Thundercracker Marissa Fairborn from IDW1, where I'm like, Cyberverse Hot Rod and Cyberverse Soundwave, I feel it was kind of just overt. Like, I feel like it was pretty obvious to me, but... Did the payphone from Cybertron ever get a name? They had something going on with the Signal Lancer. I feel like the payphone from Cybertron... I feel like it had a name somewhere in a document. That or Galaxy Force. But it was like one or the other. Wrote Freaker. Robot Lorekeeper swinging in with the actual justification of the username. Talking Tomball 74, Road Rocket and Road Pig are probably siblings because they have the same face due to being reused Microman toys. What if they just live? They're both scene kids. Like they're both into the same stuff. They shop at the same, bespoke gothware stores. And one day, one of them's like, "Hey, oops. When I asked to use your washroom, I left my corset behind. But you can wear it if you like. It's all cool." And then the other one shows up going like, "Hey, I brought your corset back." And then like zip. Except like bike parts. The laser cycles predate the Microman reboot that they were used in. Oh yeah. Yeah, they were made for G2 and then they showed up in that 2000s Microman toy line with all the plastic packaging. Also, yeah, Freaker with a PH is a great name. Now I'm gonna make Freaker signal answer TikToks. I mean, like, if no one's doing it, then yeah, do it, because like we gotta. That's a piece of that's a piece of our grand cultural infrastructure that's missing if nobody's doing that. Robot Lorekeeper, I like to think Road Pig is just beefing with Road Rocket because he thinks she's biting his style, and she has no idea they're arch enemies. That's one of my faves, when it's like the arch enemies, but only one of them is aware that there's an arch enemy status. That's what I was thinking of with, what is it? Cascade and Javelin. That's like my headcanon for Cascade and Javelin in legacy fiction, if it ever existed. Is like Cascade is like, "Oh, Javelin, my good pal Javelin, what's up?" And Javelin's like, "You shot me in the face while we were out hunting. I'm gonna kill you." And then Cascade's just like, "Oh, that Javelin's such a kidder, such a joker." Oh, yeah, we had the question, what was phone phreaking? Wavesign saying phone phreaking was the predecessor to hacking. There were a lot of ways to exploit the old Bell phone switches. That would be cool in a live-action movie, to have a Transformer who just knows how phreaking works, and, like, that's the way they can get past a firewall or something. Cascade, Javelin, Yuri went. I mean, look, I lay out the blueprints. I practically set up the easels. I'm pretty much putting paint buckets, paint jars, pens, pencils everywhere. Nobody's picking them up. I set up the studio. I write the script. I pretty much tell everyone the whole... You don't even have to think, and then nobody comes in and uses any of it. So, Cascade, Javelin, Yuri, when? I don't know. I'm asking that question as well. Have been for 20 years. Cascade is Dick Cheney. I don't know. I never heard of that Transformer. Play more 5, I'll get on it then. Thank you! Finally, we live in a country again. Lee Kalba got back to traditional painting. That's badass. Hell yeah. I miss traditional painting. When I got to do it briefly at that art jam I accidentally got entered into, I actually was having a lot of fun, and it made me want to buy canvases again, but I don't have room to do that here. I could do it when I'm over, in my mom's place, but, like, I'm not there long enough to actually go, like, time to paint on canvas. Because, like, I'm there just long enough to go, like, time to try to paint a miniature. But even if you do digital, canvas painting and traditional painting of any kind, it's still worth trying out. Because, like, the skill sets cross over. And every extra medium that you apply your skill set to, I think you learn something extra that you can then apply back to all your existing ones. But also, like, canvas painting, I mean, I'm just talking about, like, acrylic canvas painting, you know, but it's, even that alone, I think it's super fun. If you can get a line on some good canvases for not too expensive. Like, I'm talking, like, you don't have to get, like, big, you know, like, person size or poster size. Like, you can get, like, the little ones, right? Like, about that big. And, like, just kind of have a go at it. Like, there's sketchbooks and paper that you can get that works with that paint, too. But canvas is, like, it's kind of neat how canvas plays with that stuff. Evangelist in chat, any Transformers OCs you got? Alpha Bravo? Since I'm kind of the only source of Alpha Bravo fiction that has existed and will ever exist, I'm just taking Alpha Bravo as my OC now. Because they're never going to bring Alpha Bravo back. I can't claim that with Termagax, because they did write lots of fiction for Termagax, so all I can gun for is the ownership of the character Termagax. Because Termagax is also probably never going to come back. Oh no, Spreem is a classic G1 character. I can't call that an OC. Spreem is just good old-fashioned Transformers. From the good old G1 years of the early 90s. Not so, Alex. You're going to change your tune when they repaint Age of Prime's Vortex and Legacy Ruckus in the Doomed Yowie 2-pack. I dare them. Yeah. Yeah, the Alpha Bravo shaped hole is my hole. It was made for me. Tiamu Kananen, if those are the rules, I call dibs on Trek. Look, like, sometimes you just notice that, like, hey, it turns out nobody did anything for this character. Oops. Yeah. At least you got a copy of the figure of your OC. Yeah, but it's a Combiner Wars Deluxe, which I like those. But, like, you know, people are like, oh, I can't wait for Fans Toys Air Raid. I can't wait for Generations Next Series Air Raid. You know, all the Air Raid fans are eating like kings. Nepo babies, those Air Raider fans. Lee Kalba, there, like I said, there is a third-party Bumblebee it's just a reshell of an existing movie Bumblebee Deluxe, but they went for that Interceptor kind of vibe. It might be worth, I wish I could tell you the name, I just can't remember it. But it might be worth looking into, at least seeing like what they did for the reshell. Emperor Nova, all 4 Air Raid fans are going to try to hunt you down. Yeah. That's the plan! Flame Warrior 5, Typhoon is a sick name for an attack helicopter. I had a Commandroids OC that I submitted because it was part of the campaign. But I don't remember if I have it written down anywhere on here. I liked my Commandroids OC. Because I could just reapply that into a Decepticon, I guess. Basically, I thought of this before Kissplay. I'm all down with the idea of a Decepticon who's like, the way that we'll deal with the energy crisis is simply to start eating humans. And, like, that's kind of the core of all my Decepticon OCs. But then Kissplay ripped me off. So now whenever I bring it up, people are like, Legion fan, I see. And I'm like, everything I do has a lot more artistic merit and gusto than Legion. Also, twice the body horror. Last spot standing also ripped you off. Yeah, you know. Well, Nick Roche gets one, you know? I got no comment on how much, like what shape any of the tongues were in my concept because they keep ripping me off. So if I say it, they're gonna start doing it. So I gotta keep some things, like the great Brad Mick, I've got to keep some things close to my chest. We're butt-shaped. I mean, technically our tongues can be butt-shaped, depending. You know, depending what you're doing with your tongue, it can look like a butt. Quote me on that. Butt-shaped holes, says Lee Kalba. Don't even know what those are. I am a Ken doll. I simply have a hatch that I flip open, and a little bag drops out. And I carry that to the recycling bin. They really hate it when I go to the recycling bin. Highbrow. Highest brow. I'm just like a Mr. Potato Head. There's a hatch I open and all my body parts go inside. Anyway, I should probably turn the music on. Lee Kalba, did you know high and low brow comes from phrenology? I did not. Is that like one of those many sayings where it's like you say it so many times because you just grew up hearing it and then like you never think of the etymology just because it's like the words aren't part of the saying that you're saying, the saying's noises are the saying? If that makes any sense? It's like piece of cake. No one ever actually thinks about pieces or that they come from cake. Oh yeah, or like cakewalk, yeah. Like you're not thinking like a walk on cake. You're saying it's a cakewalk because those noises mean something to you. Not the you know words that they used to be put together. As easy as pie, yeah. Nobody actually is like, pie is easy, and so is this task I am doing. Therefore, it is as easy as pie. People just know the noises, easy as pie. Like, those noises have that meaning. Yeah, cakewalk comes from slavery. I remember that was the one that got around first. A lot of those sayings, I never thought about them because afterwards I was thinking about, like, why do I never think about them? And it was partly because, yeah, barrel of laughs. I never think of barrel of laughs. I think of the noises, barrel of laughs. You know, as though I were writing down, I'm going to type this out in the chat. As though I were writing down, wake up, keyboard. Barrel. It's as though that were the word. Not so, Alex. Some people say minus well instead of might as well because it's the same noises. Yeah, there's a... I mean, that's the whole root of, oh, what is it now? Now I'm not going to think of it. You know, the ones that people always get the words wrong. Damp squid instead of damp squib, or tender hooks instead of tinter hooks. Now we're just saying words. That's it. Yeah, thank you, Aaron Roth. It's all intensive purposes. It's supposed to be all intents and purposes. Not so, Alex. I didn't realize XD was an emoticon. I thought it was a poor attempt at the sound of laughter. I'm sure it got weird when people also just started to say XD out loud as XD. Diamond Dozen. Oh, man. Yeah. The one where people get the words wrong is kind of a lot of them. Yeah. W is our version of Z. That's messed up. We had this. Yeah, XD was a very late aughts thing, I think. Like in the mid to late aughts, XD was really making the rounds. If you were an adult online at the time, and I think that the stigma of XD persisted, but the knowledge of XD faded. Aaron Roth dropping the big etc. Robot Lorekeeper, Asterix instead of asterisk is very cute to me. Yeah, I grew up reading Asterix and Obelix. So, like, I almost said obelisk. That's weird. I actually really twisted my tongue. But yeah, I read those in Lucky Luke when I was growing up. So I always knew who Asterix was. Newscasters always say more on this later. More on this later. TF Closet very much remember saying Raffle Mao back in high school. I think when I was in high school, people had just started adopting things like lol and lumao as out loud noises. I had at least one friend who did when I was in high school. Yeah, Asterix with an X was Asterix of the Gauls, who uppercutted lots of Romans. And his friend Obelix, who fell into the mysterious Gaulish super strength potion as a baby, and thus permanently has super strength and doesn't need to drink it. But he always wants to taste it because he thinks it's going to taste so good. And then all of their friends, who all had wildly different names depending what language you read their comic books in, because all their names were supposed to be word plays, but obviously that means all their names are completely different depending what language they're in. Because I had a lot of German language Asterix and Obelix. Oh, I'm doing it again. Asterix and Obelix as well. Wow, this is hard. So, like, I think the chief of the village in English was named Chief Vital Statistics, but then his German name was way different. I can't remember it off the top of my head now. And then, like, the druid who made the potion in English was called Getafix. There are an astonishing number of both animated and live-action Asterix movies as well. Like, I keep finding out about new ones years after they happened. Now I'm not going to tangent this too hard. Now I really got to look up some of those Asterix names. Excuse me. This is for me. I just need to know. I can tangent harder. Just give me a cast list. Okay, here we go. This is not giving me a cast list. This is giving me a write-up. If I click this, will you just show me all the names? Here we go. Okay. What was it in German? Right, so vital statistics in German was Majestics, from Majestic. And then his wife, Impedimenta, in German was Gute Miene, from the old saying, Gute Miene zum bösen Spiel machen. At holde gode Miene till Schlechtspiel. And the bard's name was Cacophonix, but in German his name was Trubadix. So the German ones often were just like word, but then like in English it was always like phrase. And yeah, Robot Lorekeeper, very true. Asterix comic books, fair warning, they are old and they are French, so be prepared for casual racist caricature. Yeah, that just happens in old Asterix books. That's actually a big part of the Asterix Wikipedia page, I believe. Tintin bad, yeah. But yeah, there was the oldest man in the village, Geriatrix, and his wife, Mrs. Geriatrix. And the fisherman, Unhygienics, and his wife, Bacteria. The village smith, Fully Automatics, and his father, Semi-Automatics. The Asterix Gaul village names are... Those are the parts that I think stand up the best out of everything in that series. Specifically the English ones. Because, like, it's just it's very much someone... It's like one person got drunk in a very specific way and was like, these names are gonna rule! And just, like, slammed them all out. Oh yeah, there were also the 8 pirates who would just show up all the time. I forgot about that. Oh, here's some more. The postmen, postal districts. The innkeeper orthopedics, all with an X on the end. Oh, yeah, they did. I forgot about the Tintin movie. When I was a kid, we called him Tintin, and no one cared. Ninjatron, what are we doing? I was starting to close down, and I got on an Asterix the Gaul tangent, and I wanted to look up a bunch of Asterix English language names. But I should also probably get my music queued up, finish queuing up my music. He used to be called Tonton, now we call him Aluminium, says Tombot74. Scientifically accurate. That's something I gotta figure out, because I like these parts of streams too. I gotta figure out how to structure a chatting stream, because I like doing this stuff. But I gotta figure out how to, like, structure one. It's that thing that's popular in Europe, so we keep hearing about it every once in a while. I grew up on Asterix and Lucky Luke. It was so weird to me when I found out other people didn't. Like, what do you mean you don't know about the fact that Obelix can't have the super serum because he fell into the vat as a baby, and if he has any more, he might physically explode, but then one time they let him have a little sip of it, just enough to be safe, and he can hurl menhirs ever. Also, Obelix always carries menhirs around. That's his whole thing. Yeah, but you grew up weird. Maybe you all are actually the weird ones, and I am the one who grew up normal. Oh, the movie pronounced it Tintin. Okay. I don't know, once upon a time for a hot minute, someone got annoyed that I didn't call it Tintin, and so I like, bookmarked that. Robot Lorekeeper, I read the old John Carter comics, the ones that the Disney movie that bombed was based on, and the first time he meets one of the supporting characters, she says aloud, "Save me, oh mighty white man." I didn't live in Germany, I just went there, like, nearly every other year for a very long time. In my childhood, specifically. Like, with a lot of older media like that, especially ones, you know, that come from the right places to be, like, super racist at times, I feel like, in general, like partly thanks to the Looney Tunes DVD box sets of the 2000s, I feel like we've sort of, as a bunch of folks, there is kind of a developed sense of, like, we all have that thing that plays at the start of the disc, kind of inherently nowadays. And the only reason, like, we really get into, like, a super big fight about it is because you'll get people who won't rest at that. They won't have, that's not enough for them. They gotta be like, no, and it's fine. You know, they gotta hear someone else say it's fine, and it's like, dog, just watch your stupid cartoons. I don't know. Don't tell everyone else that they have to watch your cartoons. If I have to deal with the fact that The Usual Suspects has been obliterated for me if I think about the movie too hard. If my really selfish one thing that I always bring up in this context... no, my film school head very specifically was like, we don't have to watch Birth of a Nation. I think we watched, like, a piece of it academically, but we did not sit down and watch full-on Birth of a Nation, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure we didn't. We watched, what's it called? I'm gonna look up the name. I think we watched all of 8½. The Federico Fellini piece. I'm an autodidact, so I never had to do nothing. Says Lee Kalba. I'm pretty sure we watch 8½. It's been a while now. Whoa. Slid my subwoofer. But yeah, like, there's lots of academic reasons to look at anything, really. It's just like, you gotta, you know, look at it academically. It's like, that was my whole thing way back with with Usual Suspects was like, how do I put it? Personally, I think it's fine if someone's like, if someone watches The Usual Suspects and comes away going like, I enjoyed that film. Oh, it's a shame about X and Y and Z. It's a whole other thing if you like watch it, then go onto, at the time, Twitter, and you go like, everyone, everyone, stop what you're doing and look at me. I watched The Usual Suspects and I enjoyed it. Like to me, that's one of the main differences. Is like, are you making this into someone else's problem? Or are you looking at it and actually doing the thing of going like, oh yeah, that was neat. Also, couple of folks involved. Terrible. Yeah, Aaron Roth, crummy people can do great work. You do not, in fact, have to hand it to them, says Aaron Roth. That's kind of, yeah. But I always found through, like, the late aughts and early 2010s, the way that would always, whenever that became a loud argument between a lot of people on a social media platform, it was usually someone who would come marching out of their front steps onto their porch and go, and take their newspaper, their rolled up newspaper, and go like, everybody, I watched Birth of a Nation today. And then, like nowadays, you'd be trained to go like, shut up, and just like walk off, right? But like in this case, back then, there was still a lot more of a sense of like, well, he might have something interesting to say. Let's hear him out. And then, like, unfortunately, most of the time, they wouldn't have anything interesting to say. So you kind of then just develop the sense of, like, when someone starts doing that, you'd go, like, shut up! And then, like, walk off. And go do something else. Because, yeah, like, there are movies that I, like, how do you put it? When it comes to the subject, as you mentioned, V-Rider, of, like, the important movies, I would say, like, yes, some of those films are important, and there are academically beneficial ways to watch them if you want to, but you don't have to. It's like there are qualities that exist in them that can be dissected and discussed. But like with like the thing that I learned as I grew up more as an adult was like, but also there's so much in the world, like you don't have to carry it over to someone like a shawl and put it on their shoulders and go like, here, wear this. It smells like dead horses, but it's really worth it, like you can just keep your dead horse shawl and enjoy it if you want to. But also, like, a lot of the worst people also don't care or even understand the academically interesting parts of a lot of that media. They just want to be able to be edgy and loud. To which I then usually go like, so you're not even smart. You're on top of being a scumbag, you're also not smart. That's great. Like, and I don't think there's anything wrong with the people involved necessarily, but I will always go on and on about Georges Méliès's silent films, because I think that they inform a lot of what filmmaking is today. Where the rocket goes into the moon and into the moon's eye and stuff like that. Like some of the very first stuff ever put to cinematic medium. I think the work of Georges Méliès is really worth studying. Also, the lasting work of Georges Méliès, there's like about an hour of it, right? Like there's not a whole, I mean there's more, but there's not like a ton of it. But that's not the point. It's that I would never tell someone, you must watch the works of Georges Méliès. It's just like, I think there's something you can get out of it. But like, also, if you don't want to, then you don't want to. And like, that's that. Oh, hey there, M. Cypher. Yeah, last minute. I'm tangenting hard because like I'm enjoying talking. I was just musing out loud a little while ago. I should just do a talking stream at some point. I just don't know how to structure it. I'll get the spelling for y'all if you want to look up Georges Méliès. Oh, Aaron Ross already got it. Yeah, I was gonna say it's this. I think Georges Méliès is also, like, between Georges Méliès and Metropolis, those are two things that, like, every now and then will just connect with someone where you might think they're too generationally removed to remote. Like, I was surprised I connected with Georges Méliès stuff at all. I was really surprised I connected with it. I was also, like, really surprised I enjoyed Citizen Kane, because, like, when I saw it in film school, during film school classes, in the early 2010s, probably one of the worst times to sit down and watch Citizen Kane without, you know, like, wanting to roll your eyes through the back of your head. I actually really liked Citizen Kane. I thought it was a cool movie. I was really surprised how much I liked it. Partly because I knew that a lot of the filmmaking techniques and editing techniques being used were invented by the production of Citizen Kane, so I found it very interesting. But, like, with Georges Méliès stuff, this is already getting outdated again, but, like, you know, when jump cut editing was getting really big on Vine and TikTok, I was like, a lot of folks who are enjoying those platforms should check out Georges Méliès stuff, because a lot of the stuff they're doing were his tricks that he was, like, inventing when the concept of visual media was being invented. Yeah, we got the double shot from PT and Aaron Aroth independently of watch Citizen Kane figure out how many scenes were referenced in The Simpsons. And wrapping it back, yeah, Flame War 05, wrapping it back, you know, just to bounce off that naturally, my assignments got today: write Javelin and Cascade Yuri, and make Signal Lancer X Freaker content. It's Cascade with a K, I gotta point out. A Centicon Cascade, TM. I mean, there's movies that are newer, too, that I feel like can kind of miss folks if they aren't that interested in stuff that is, like, a little bit more, like, chill, I guess. Like, I always mash the name up a bit. Okay, it's Days. Wim Wenders' last film, Perfect Days, I super recommend to everybody. Look up Perfect Days. It's a film that was originally going to be like a sort of documentary about some famous Tokyo public toilets, but it is also a film that is, like, incredibly, I find, very moving, very chill, very zen. It's really worth checking out. If there was a movie I would ask everyone to watch in 2024, it would be Perfect Days. Adachi baby, you saw Perfect Days. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. The ending really got my mom, too, but what got me more in Perfect Days, there were two times that got me more. One of them was in the parking lot with the family members, and then the other one is when he was chasing shadows with the guy near the end. That actually got me harder than the ending. Yeah, Perfect Days made me literally start bawling twice. And not in any kind of, like, rote, you know, and now you cry kind of way, but it was, like, just very... I mean, a lot of it was down to the lead actor, but it was two very specific moments that just, like, I had to, like, pause the movie and walk off. And not because they were, like, tragic, it was just, like, they were very moving. And a lot of the film is just very chill and like, procedural almost at times in a really satisfying way. Eric Palermo, oi, 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 oi. This is also why I like to trail on for like an hour after I'm done, because then like more people pop in I can say hi to. But yeah, like I've got my movie taste that I enjoy. I've got my like my semi-literate rambles about wider scale media literacy that I usually keep to myself. Oh, okay. Kalba like Kal-El, not Call. Am I saying Kalba? That's probably like whatever it is I have that resembles an accent. Because in my head I'm saying Kalba. That's so messed up. Have I been saying Kalba? I mean, I can go look later, but yeah, in my head I've been thinking Kalba. Damn, that's messed up. Is that what having an accent is like? Kalba. Kalba. I'm trying to just fire it off so I don't think about it. So yeah, I mean, I apologize. Like how you say Silverbolt. Well, that's just because I say it cool. Adachi baby, I'm so happy you saw Perfect Days. Yeah, it is a change, like a possible change your outlook on life movie, and like I don't want to oversell like the idea, like it's not like this movie will make you cry, because like that's kind of not the point. It's just it is also a movie that I think is genuinely moving. I don't have an accent. I'm from the South. Kalba. Now I'm starting to dip into Kelba. I gotta stop thinking about it. I don't want to make your name a casualty. But no, also, if I mispronounce any of your names and they don't involve the word sponge or broccoli, let me know. If they involve sponge or broccoli, you just have to fix your name. Further proof that slice of life is the best genre. That's right. First half of Earthspark. Slice of life. Dog, if the first half of Earthspark hit as hard... There is a version of it that could hit as hard as Perfect Days. It would not be made for Paramount Plus, but, like, there's bullet points in there. Like, it would be really fun to, like, reapply them in that way. Decal. That's just because That's because every time someone says decal, I feel like they're looking at me and wanting me to acknowledge it. That's my problem. That's my problem. There are some words I just decided to make my own. Like, every time I play Spy Master's Ruse in Transformers TCG, I say Spy Master's Ruse. Because I want to make it fancy. I reckon putting on decals without ripping is hard. Hard. Transformers Slice of Life should have happened by now. It's come up many times in the last, like, 15 years that people really get into and enjoy, like, not just, you know, post or pre-war Cybertron stories, but mostly, like, seeing who Transformers are as living things is what a lot of people really enjoy, whenever we get little hints of it. But yeah, Euro G1 Slicer of Life is, that's a, like, you know, neon color, revenge story movie. That's gonna be colorful and violent, but, like, you know, by intent. That was less southern, more bad cowboy. Listen. The British have dealt with me attempting their accents for many years. I simply haven't put much time into the South. There was, in the Victory fan dub, I played Great Shot and had a very, very... I played Great Shot very... How did I say it? But because he said Guy Hawk a lot, and I was like, Guy Hawk! Guy Hawk! That was fun. Your Mass Toys Rune review changed my life in an undefinable way. I showed my Mass Toys Rune review to a Welsh person I know to ask them, is this racist? And I believe their exact words to me were, I don't think it's racist. You do sound like you had a stroke, but I don't think it's racist. I don't remember what happened to my brain when I was doing that one. That was a weird day. Cowboys are more Western than Southern. Sorry, I had to process that. I never thought about that. That cowboys are from Westerns, but the South is where Southerners are, and that West is not necessarily South. I have to think about that. Texas is the official cutoff. Well, that's not helping anybody. Texas is where everyone thinks of when they think South and cowboy. I mean, I guess that's why it's the cutoff. I know how compasses work. East is that way, and North is up because South is down, and West is best because that's where I was born. That's why compasses are written that way. Hey, quote me on that. West is not necessarily South. Texas is an enormous cutoff. You know, the tiny little thin line known as Texas. Yeah, listen, we don't have to, like, actually say to people that I was born, okay? Like, I know it's not common. I mean, what? I know I'm not some kind of, what, you think I'm soft and I was born or something? No, I was poured. I was 2 packets of powder and some room temperature water until they poured me into the Terminator cyborg skin maker machine. My whole approach to American accents is basically sometimes I say y'all, and every now and then I say ding dang, because I remembered some stand-up comedy piece at some point about how Elvis Presley's bodyguards would say dang, but then if they were really taken aback, they would say ding dang. So I've always tried to treat ding dang as like my piece of Americana. Flame Horror 5, it's so weird when I hear people say Kansas is in the South. Yeah, there was a long time where I just thought a lot of cities that in media I saw were portrayed as Southern were just crammed at the bottom of America because, like, media is real mean to America when I was growing up. Like, the cartoonish way it would... Which is weird because a lot of it was made by Americans. But it would portray America in this way where I just thought a whole lot of cities were mashed down here. And then a few more were, like, mashed over to the west, and that the expanse in the middle was either a desert or part of Canada. Tonbot74, isn't Ding Dang a Dragon Ball Z character? Could be. And New York, LA, and the South, yeah. But then sitcoms opened my mind to the idea that there was some place called Wisconsin that had cheese, and everyone hates it, which was big. That was big for my personal growth and emotional development. They were just hooting and hollering about the ding-dang-dong. I gotta turn the music on. I'm gonna do this. I'm doing this. I did it. We can't go back now. Hey. Sure always is great hanging out at the end of these, but thank you all for coming to the pizza party. It was very fun, as was hanging out afterwards. I gotta put some thought into a semi-structured way to just have some talk and chill time streaming, because sitting in a room staring at you doesn't feel like it's enough. I gotta figure out some way to move around it. I mean, I know there's people over yonder who like make that their whole careers, but I don't know. I feel like there needs to be some kind of structure. Tom Boss 74, you can't make me leave. I live here now. Technically, you could stay in the chat room as long as you are able to type it in. I think it eventually automatically kills it, but I don't know when. So you could hang out in there for a while if you wanted to. I gotta think, if I had a list of concepts, I lost it, but I had a list of ideas for like talkie streams with like a loose structure. I gotta dig it out. This week though, I am hoping to get back to Elden Ring to go smack Moog and open the DLC before I go out west for 3 weeks where I can't play Elden Ring, which is gonna be for like most of August. So that's on my mind. And I would like to also get back to the news dives to hit 2004 with Aaron. I gotta figure out if there's a way I can do that through my MacBook, so that I can do at least one of those while I'm out west. I gotta figure out what I can do out west streaming-wise, too, because I want to keep doing some of that while I'm out there. Like I said, good for my brain, so I'm gonna do it. But, yeah. Otherwise, I will catch you all later. If I Elden Ring, it might be tomorrow, maybe. I'll figure it out. But until then, stay safe out there. Take it easy. And painting streams, that's definitely happening while I'm out west. I got a Monument Hobbies bag for it and everything. I'm trying to figure out what to bring to paint out there, because that is one way I do want to spend some of my house-sitting downtime. So yes, painting streams are also on the menu. But yeah, I will talk to you all later. I will catch you all later. And stay safe out there. And stay hydrated, because I didn't. I only drank like half a small bottle of unmarked soda. I don't even have water in my body anymore.
Let them come.